the Sing, Play, Create Teaching Tips channel. I'm Sandra, and today I'm sharing some first day activities with you that you can do to have a successful first day of class in your primary grades. Let's get started. So the core things that are important for the very first day of activities that you want to give some thought to are a greeting, a welcome song, some rules and procedures, a way to connect with your students, a music activity, and you might want to do a goodbye song. So hello song is a great way to get started, even on the first day, even if you're the one that sings it. If you know how to play the ukulele, then it's an easy instrument to grab. You can wear it with a strap or not. Depends how fast you want to get it off and stack it on your stand or something. But it's easy to grab and welcome the students in the classroom. Also, you can be walking around as you're playing it. It's got a nice sound. It's not too loud. You can control it. And everybody loves a ukulele. Hello, my friends, hello. Hello, my friends, hello. Hello, my friends, hello, my friends. Hello, my friends, hello. And that's just C chord. Hello, my friends, hello. Again. Hello, my friends, hello. Hello, my friends. And then I just use G7. Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. Switch again. Hello. If you know some of the students' names, you could even sing some of their names. Hello, Mary, hello. Or if you don't, it's kindergarten, so you don't know any of their names. That's okay, but you could sing some of their names just to kind of get everybody going, oh, yay, it's music, and she knows me, and I know her. And we're going to learn each other's names, and we're going to have a fun musical time together this year. And if you don't have an instrument, or you'd prefer, you can use a puppet. And you can just grab these. I got these on Amazon, and they're just cute little animal puppets. I use them for all kinds of things throughout the school year, especially in those primary grades. And Mrs. Cow can sing, hello, my friends, hello. How are you doing? And then you can have the kids say, I'm doing fine. Or you ask them, you can go around and say hi to them with the puppet. Just get everybody welcome and happily coming into music class. Be smiling. It's a great way to make those first day connections. I don't necessarily sit down and teach everybody the hello song that day. I may sing it more than one time because it might take time for the students to come in the classroom and find a place to sit. And that's okay. It's just a great way to greet everybody. And of course, you're the music teacher, so why not sing it? I found after a couple of years trying different ways to have the kids come in and sit down is that I did use the sit spots. I really liked them. I know there's a lot of people that don't like them. They worked in my classroom. They stuck to the floor. They were stuck on so well, they weren't really a problem. But you can use any kind of marker in your classroom, whatever your seating arrangement is. I know for a bunch of years I was on a portable, and I actually attached some cutouts like stars to the ceiling because they had the tiles and there was the little metal crossbars, and I could use a paper clip and hang a clear thread down, which was fire safe, and then it had a little star with a number on it, and then the kids only had to look up to find their spot, and I didn't have to worry about anything on the floor, and that worked really well too. So it is a good idea to have some way to identify where the students have choices of sitting. On the first day, I don't care where they sit. I just say, come in, and I'm singing, come in, with the ukulele or with the puppet, getting them to come into the classroom and just find a spot and have them stay standing and sing the song until everybody gets in the room. And then you can teach them to sit down in your choir way, or you can teach them to sit down with the song. And I have a little song for that. It's just super simple. It goes like this. Crisscross applesauce, hands in your lap. 1, 2, 3, 4, I can clap. And I didn't change the chord because I'm just singing the song to them to teach it to them. Then I'll put my ukulele away. So then I teach them how to do the song, and we're standing up, and then we're going to slowly go down. We can be silly. Crisscross applesauce, hands in my lap. 1, 2, 3, 4, I can clap. Boom. And then we do that a couple times. We say we're going to try to get everybody to clap, boom, at the very same time. That's a really fun game. I don't use it all year long because things speed up, but on the first day, I want the kids to watch me. I want them to know that it's important to be quiet when they stand. And then when they sit down, it's time to switch our attention to something different and to pay attention. But I'm not that strict with it all year long. It's just me teaching them these things through movement and through music to get them to know me and how I want things to go in the music room. It's super important to think of these kinds of things as you teach your students, because if you begin this in kindergarten, you'll find by the time the kids get to 3rd grade, they know if you just say crisscross applesauce, oh boom, they all sit down and clap their hands, and you can move right on with your story or your presentation or whatever's going on in the classroom very quickly. If you're looking for some fun hello songs, you can go to the Sing, Play, Create website or the Teachers Pay Teachers store. I've got some links down below. You'll find some of these really fun hello songs. I've got a whole bundle of them because I had a different song for each grade. And that way, when they came in, each grade had their own special song that I would sing. I didn't get tired of singing the same song all day, and it was exciting for them to learn a new song the next year they came back to music. So you can check on those links below. After we get done with the hello song, I just move right into an activity. I have them standing up and I do some kind of song movement activity, and one that I have that's a free resource that many people have used. It's got tons of downloads and it's also available in the Sing, Play, Create free resource library. It's called Heartbeat, and it's great for kinder and 1st grade, and you can do it with your 2nd graders too. They'll like it. So it goes like this. The heartbeat will pulse the steady beat as the song plays. Tap your heart to feel the beat.
Heartbeat, heartbeat, I can feel my heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat, I can feel my heartbeat. I can feel it when I stop. I can feel it when I snap. I can feel it when I jump. I can feel it when I clap. Heartbeat, heartbeat, I can feel my heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat, I can feel my heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat. Heartbeat, heartbeat, I can feel my heartbeat.
On the first day of class, I'm not going to really worry about teaching the words. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just model it. I'm standing in front of the class and I'm modeling it, and I'm just smiling and I'm just doing heartbeat, heartbeat. I can feel my heartbeat. And I'm showing the kids how to do the song. It's a very simple song. Later, I can use that song as a beat and rhythm activity, but for the first day, I'm just hoping that this activity is going to make them feel excited about music. It's also going to keep them engaged because I have something on the screen, or at least I'm doing it with the music. They're moving their hands, they're using their eyes, they're using their ears, and we're making music on the very first day. We sang hello and we did a music activity. Now it's time maybe to sit down, crisscross applesauce, hands in my lap, and we're going to talk about or listen to or experience some of the rules and procedures. With kindergarten, on the first day, I keep it super simple. Those poor little guys, their teachers are doing all kinds with them. When I do this, you do this. And when I do this, back bubble. When I do this, you do this. They've got so many things tossed at them on that first day of school that I keep it super simple. So one thing I know that kindergartners always need to work on, and that's following each other in a line. So you can play a little game with them now, and you can say, we're going to play follow the leader. And I have a little song that goes with that, but you can just sing or just play music or use your hand drum and just say, following the leader, leader, leader. We're following the leader in the line. And then I sing that and I'll have them follow me. And I just walk in the circle. I don't try and do anything crazy on the first day. And this is when I teach my students where we're lining up, because what I did is I had the circle start where the door was, and then they walked around, and then of course the circle ended where the door was, and they would stop there. I had a special dot for them to stop, and then they would stop in line, and then their teacher would come and pick them up. And it was just easy for me to make the line as part of the circle. That way they didn't have to have a different place to line up or running here, running there. It was just part of our circle. But we always walked around the circle and we practiced that. There's a couple fun ways that you can play this game. They can follow you and you can play the drum and you can change the tempo. Following the leader, leader, and make big steps, you know. Following the leader. Then you could speed it up. Leader, leader, following the leader in the... See if they can stop. Line. So you can switch that up, but depending on your grade, K through 2 is going to get it, and they can have a little more fun with it. You might be able to wiggle around a little bit and switch directions and go back. And then have just the kinders just stay in the circle. But a hand drum playing along with you or a shaker or something will really help the game move along, and it makes it fun for the kids. And then you can say, and later you're going to get to play a hand drum just like this. And then that's a really great way to just share another thing that's going to happen in the music room on the very first day. I really like to use movement or actions or something interactive to teach the rules. And so I do have a PowerPoint and I will go through the rules for sure on that very first day. Sometimes I have done this. I actually have not done it. I've skipped over it or just kind of, you know, I did some of those procedure things, but I didn't really go through the rules of the room because I was thinking, oh, the kids are so overwhelmed. There's so much to do, and I just want them to have fun and music. It's a hard lesson to learn, but I did learn that it is really important to take my time, you know, pay attention to the flow of the students. If it's right after lunch and they're really tired, then, you know, maybe you'd shorten it a bit, but you'd want to go through your rules on the very first day, whatever they are. I always had mine posted, so I just read them right from the bulletin board. That way all the teachers could also see my rules. And that's a really important thing because you want them to back you up on your rules, and you want them, all the other teachers that come to get their kids, you want them to know that you do have rules in your classroom. That no, they just can't come to music and run around and do whatever they want to, that we're here to learn too. And so we have rules that help us learn. So whatever your rules are, that's kind of up to you, but I do feel it's important to communicate those the very first day of class, and if you can do it in a fun way, use the puppet, do it in a chanting voice, do it rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, knees, rule 4. You can do something like that where you can use the body to help them learn the rules. Keep it simple, but be clear and set those expectations on the very first day. I have found that to be super successful in classroom management. It's the very first day of school, or the very first day of music class. And to me, now we're getting to actually the most important thing. We've sang a hello song to welcome our students in. We're smiling, we've greeted them. We have done some procedures and rules, activities, and now it's time to play a game. I like to make sure I get in some of those procedures and the rules, and then I might just have maybe 10 minutes left of class. I might have 15. It just depends on how those other things have gone. So I have a game and I'll tell them, we're going to play a little game, and I keep it really short so I can get through everybody's name. And you can do it in less than 10 minutes. So I have a class list. And I'm just going to put the class list in front of me because I haven't worried about where everyone's sitting on the very first day, especially with kindergarten. And I don't know about you, but at my school, usually we didn't have all the correct lists the very first day. So instead of getting all upset about it or anxious about it, like what I would do, then I realized, just use what I have. And if there's 5 kids that are on the list, then I can work that out during the game. And I don't have to put them in a spot the first day. I can do that even on the third class time. I can wait till we get everything set, and then I can make my seat charts. So now we're getting to the meat of the music class, and that is an opportunity to get to know the students on the first day and make them feel included. Also to try and make a connection with them, a very personal connection. And one way to do that is to use their names. So I really support and urge you to use some kind of name game. And I think what happens is, like what happened to me is, when you're first new, it's so overwhelming. But all I did was use the class list. I didn't put everybody in a seat chart. I decided that it was more important to just say their name, and they can wave to me, or the other kids will point to that kid if they're really shy. And then I could make some eye contact with them and verbally saying their name on that first day. And I just found that to be super effective. They would know who I was. They respected me because I knew their name and had taken the time to learn it. So it's just something I feel has been really important. And I also feel like it was super successful as far as classroom management goes, to learn all those kids' names. So you can do it a lot of different ways. Here's just one idea. I just took the song, Mary wore her red dress, red dress, red dress. Mary wore her red dress to school today. So I just took that and I would just change the kid's name, and I would just look at what they're wearing and say, green shoes, green shoes. Johnny wore his green shoes to school today. Inevitably on the first day, I might not say their name right, or maybe they go by their middle name. So I had a pencil handy, I had the list on a clipboard, and I just took the time right then to fix it, and then I would sing it correctly to them. And they just thought that was really special, that I would stop, write their name down, pay attention to them. I wasn't in a hurry to go on to something else that I just think we really had to do that day. My most important thing was to sing their names. I've done it with a hand drum. I just like the ukulele too. I used to use the guitar. The guitar is bigger. It's a little hard to maneuver with the kids. So this is just easy to grab, and I would use the ukulele to sing the song. Also, if I need to, I can move around easier with it if I need to. So I hope that you will find a name game or a name song that works for you, so you can get to know your students on the very first day and make those important relationship connections. So if we've gotten through the name game, it's always a good idea to make sure you've taught all those rules. But if you went quickly through them and there's one that you think you really want to focus on now's the time where you could bring it in. And one of the rules I think that is the hardest to teach is keeping our hands, feet, and words to ourselves. And you can teach it all year long, and you may never be successful at it happening, but Like I said, I think it's important to share these expectations at the beginning of the year, because even if you get 60% of the students who will follow it, that's going to help you keep the class going. So you can do a fun thing, like you can have the puppet come back out and say, "Hello, boys and girls, I want to talk to you about something really important." You could do a little puppet thing. You might have a special song. I have a song. It's easy to learn. It's to If You're Happy and You Know It. Keep your hands, feet, and words to yourself. Keep your hands, feet, and words to yourself. If you want to be nice, follow this advice. Keep your hands, feet, and words to yourself. Clap, clap. And you can do the actions. So hands, and then you can point to your feet, and words to yourself. Keep your hands, feet, and words to yourself. It's a little tricky. If you want to be nice, follow this advice, and then keep your hands, feet, and words to yourself. Clap, clap. So that's just the easy way you can do it, at least to teach the rule. You may not ever sing the song again, but the kids actually do like the song, and you can play around with that, and Mrs. Cow can also help teach that. You know, hands, feet, words to yourself. To yourself. You know, make up some funny voices and have fun with it. So it's really important to have those procedures and rules and try and weave them into the music activities on the first day. And my personal opinion is to not overload everybody by spending all of your class time on those rules and procedures, but maybe pick the ones that are super important for the first day, and then make sure that you're doing some kind of name game or some kind of connection activity where the students are going to know you and you're going to start to get to know the students. And the hello song that I sang is also a goodbye song. So it's easy to pick up. And the goodbye song is actually on the Sing, Play, Create YouTube channel. And it's really cute, and you can sing along with the video. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, my friends, goodbye. And this is where I teach the kids actually to wave to each other. Because not only are we building connections with the students, but we're helping everybody make connections with each other. So while I'm singing it the first time, I'll say, "Okay, everybody, wave to your neighbor and smile. Make sure you smile at your neighbor like, 'I'm so happy to see you,' and wave goodbye." And you can do that with the hello song too. You can have them all wave to each other, which they really like, and they think that's fun. Okay, so you have the core ingredients for a perfect recipe for your first day of music class. You've got hello songs, music activities, procedures, rules, and a way to get to know your students, and top it off with a goodbye song for an amazing first day. And I wish you the very best. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm here to help. There's tons of free resources in the Sing, Play, Create free resource library that can help you with this. I've got some other body percussion and action songs and games that you can play that would be perfect for the very first day of school. Hi, I'm Sandra, the creator at Sing, Play, Create, and today I'm sharing over 12 hello songs, name games, and activities you can use in your music class and your preschool circle times. Let's get started. Singing a hello song at the beginning of music class or in preschool circle time is a great way to help your students feel safe and included. Repetition is great for kids. They love to repeat those songs, so if you choose a hello song, you can use it for the entire school year. Hello songs are also a great way to build classroom community. It makes everyone feel a part of something when they're all singing and moving together. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can get weekly updates on all the videos that will help you in your music classes. This is a super simple song that you can sing. It's to the melody of Frere Jacques or Are You Sleeping? the beginning of the school year, students may not know to, sit down after they sing their name, but that's okay. You don't have to keep the song going. You can go nice and slow, and you want everyone to echo sing while they're singing the song. That way, you're learning the names, but more importantly, everybody's learning each other's names, and it makes everybody feel special. If there's a child that doesn't want to stand, that's okay. Try and get them to at least wave. If they don't want to stand and say hello, wave. They can just sit in their seat. Later, you can have all the students pat their knees and sing the song. It's a really fun way to get everyone started in your class with this fun song, singing everyone's names, and then you can get right into your music activity. The Hello Tommy song is available in the Sing, Play, Create Easy Classroom Songs packet with songs to line up, sit down, happy birthday, and some other classroom songs. You can check it out. Hello, my good friends, how are you today? Come and sing a song with me, then let's run and play. And I usually repeat the song 3, maybe 4 times, and once the kids know the song, you can walk around the circle, or you can use it as a mixer and have the students walk around and sing, hello my good friends, how are you today, as they look at everyone, and then you tell them you're going to sing the song 3 times, and by the time they get done singing on the 3rd time, they have to be in their spot. And it's just a fun little game, icebreaker, name song that you can do at the beginning of music class, and it just works great for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. This song is also on the Sing, Play, Create Kids music channel, and it's the first song in a compilation of hello songs and get to know you activities. You can get the link below. There's another fun name game if you want to check it out. It's in that compilation video. It's hello song, name game, and activities to get to know you, and it's really cute. It goes, hello, hello, what's your name? And then the student sings, my name's Sandra, that's my name. And then everybody sings, hello Sandra, how do you do? And then everybody sings together, it's so nice to meet you, and they all point to each other. This is also a good mixer activity. Once they sing the song all the way through, you can have them do it with each other, walking around, and they're singing to each other, hello, hello, what's your name? Put them in pairs, and then the other person says, my name. This song makes a great mixer activity, a little icebreaker if you want to do that at the beginning of your class, because they can sing in pairs. So you could pair them up, or say to everybody pair up, or turn to your neighbor to the right, and then if you need to, you can be the odd person or the even person that you need in the circle, and then they can sing, hello, hello, what's your name? And the other person sings, my name's Sandra, that's my name. And then the other person sings, number 1 sings, hello Sandra, how do you do? And then they sing together, and you can have them pat each other's hands or shake hands or elbow or fist bump, something fun you could choose as a class, or ask them to make something up. And they sing, it's so nice to meet you. So if you do this activity with the mixer where they're in pairs, after they learn how to do it in pairs, you can take it another level up. You can have 2 circles. So you're going to have 1 circle on the inside, and they're going to face everyone on the outside of the circle. And when they sing the song, they'll face one person, and then at the end of that, the middle or the outside, you could choose, but the middle people, they just move 1 spot over. So eventually everyone will move around and sing with everyone else in the class. It works really great for 3rd, 4th, and sometimes 5th graders. One of my favorite hello songs is called Everybody Say Hello. It's on our Sing, Play, Create YouTube channel. If you like that song, you can use the YouTube video, but if you want the literacy activities and get to know activities, you can head on over to the links at the TPT store and get the product and use that in any classroom. It's great for preschool up to 3rd grade. Everybody Say Hello is also a body percussion activity, and we've got that on the Sing, Play, Create YouTube channel. And what you're going to do is, I'm doing body percussion in the video. It looks like this. Let's do some body percussion. Pattern number 1, pat, clap, snap, clap. The thing I really like about this video is that you can have it playing as your students walk in the classroom. So instead of them coming in and having chat time and getting quiet, you have that music or that video playing. They come into the room and they're just doing a simple body percussion. And the movement with the music and singing and finding their spots, and you just say by the end of the song everybody's got to be on their dot. Just makes it an easy get class started. What's great about this song is that we're getting our brain and our body to work together. We're singing a hello song, we've had a nice transition activity, and now we're ready to begin class. Just get everybody clapping. You can do this as they're coming in the room. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. Say your name. Say your name. Feel the beat. Feel the beat. So at first, when you're saying say your name, you'll just be greeting students as they come in if you're using this for the first time. Or if you like, they can be in their circle and you're going to go around and you'll just say it to 2 or 3 students to teach everyone the song. Then you can do it with the whole class where you could have them go in order around the circle, so everyone would say clap your hands, everyone echoes you, clap your hands, everyone stomp your feet, everybody stomps their feet, and then student number 1, we're going to say your name, and student number 1 says Sandra, and then everybody says feel the beat, feel the beat. And you can have them pat or clap to feel the beat. I'm clapping because of the video. So you can have them do that at the beginning of class, so that works really great too. There's some modifications you can do with that chant. You can have them all sitting down and patting. Clap your hands. Jump up, stomp your feet. Say your name, and they could just turn to their neighbor and say their name just for a quick game. And then you could say take a seat, and then have everybody quickly sit back down. So if you taught them this chant, then you'd be able to use it as a transition song and take your time going around having everybody say their names. Or you could do it quickly like I just shared and have everyone just look at somebody and say your name and then quick sit down, because the program's this week and we've got to hurry and work on our songs because we only have so much time today in our class. So there's a couple ways that you can use that. That chant is available in the Sing Play Create TPT store, and the link is in the description. When I first started teaching music, I learned that it was important not to teach the same thing to too many classes through the day. Otherwise, I just got too bored. I just went stir crazy if I had to teach the same thing. Maybe that works for you, that's cool. But what it did for me is I ended up creating a different hello song for each grade level. I actually combined 4, 5, and 6 into one song because of the teaching situation that I had. But the K through 4, everybody had a different song. That meant at the beginning of the year, the new first graders coming in from kindergarten would learn a new song, but I always taught first grade this song. It actually really helped to streamline my lessons. It meant I didn't have to come up with a new hello song every year too. So I had a specific song for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, and 4, 5, 6 were one song that I used. That really helped with streamlining my lessons. So these next songs I'm going to share are those songs that I made up. I found that in kindergarten that the students weren't really even sure what their personal space was. So I just took a simple song called This Is the Way We, wash our hands, or This Is the Way We march our feet. And I took it and I just wrote some verses, and then at the very end we sing when we come to music. So they just did the actions in their spaces, but it got everybody learning to point to their head, to their eyes, to their nose, as all the verses in the song. Another one of those hello songs is Hello My Good Friends that I have shared earlier. It's in another video done a different way, but I also have a music class version of that. And the kids love this song because in first grade, everybody wants to be best friends. So it's Hello My Good Friends, how are you today? Come and sing a song with me, then let's run and play! Yay! And we sang those short songs 3 times so everybody had a chance to learn it and also just enjoy the song and doing our little run and play actions. Okay, the next hello song that I used, I had to change the words between morning and afternoon. So it depended if the class was coming in the morning or the afternoon, which version I sang, because it's hello, hello, good morning to you. Hello, hello, it's time to sing too. Sing high, sing low. We'll sing, 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 sing until we go. Hello, hello, good, and if it was afternoon, good afternoon. Hello, hello, it's time to sing too. And that was one of the hello songs that I used when they came into class. Just put the music on right away. I usually just played it on the piano once they knew it, and they would just sing that song, get in their spots, and then we were ready to begin class. You can tell by now that I think hello songs are an important part of music class. I just found they were a great transition activity. I think that's why they worked for me. They just got the kids in, they got them singing, they got them moving, and then after we sing our hello song, I always sang all of the student names and had them echo back to me, and when I sang their name, that would be their cue to sit down and help us echo sing all of the names. I just found it solved a lot of problems in classroom management because it let them know that this is the way we do things. We repeated it every class time. I honored everyone by singing their names, showed my respect. It helped me learn their names, but it also helped them learn each other's names in music class, and that was a really important thing to me to do too. So this next one is super fun because it has some tricky clapping in it. And it also changes between morning and afternoon, and so you can use it either way. And so this is how it goes. This is the rhythm. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's time to sing a song or two. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. It's time to sing a song for you. I always had fun teaching that end of the song. It took some of them a couple class times to get exactly when to clap, but they just loved singing it. Now I used that song with 3rd graders because I felt like they could get the rhythm better than the 2nd and 1st graders. The last hello song in this series is the 4th grade song, and this one we did solfege with it, and they sang it a cappella, and it was a round. So it was a bit of a challenge for them at the beginning of the year, but it was a good one to work on all those things. Every class time when they came in, we could be working on singing together, singing 2 parts, and working on our solfege. So it was a great warm-up and a really good transition activity. This song is really easy to sing, but the nice thing about it is that we're working on our solfege and our rhythm, and we're also getting to know each other, and that's an important part of the Kadai Music Classroom. I just love singing hello songs at the beginning of classes. Once the students know the songs, if I've used the accompaniment tracks or karaoke tracks, or I've used the videos, it's nice to then bring out the ukulele and sing them together, and they really like that too. So as the year progresses, you can change it up, but singing the same song throughout the school year will really help you with your classroom management, classroom community, and it just helps you as a teacher bring those kids back into music land. It gives them a nice transition activity from walking in the hall and being quiet, and now they get to make noise and say hello to everyone. Welcome to the party, let's sing hello. The hello song, hello my good friends, how are you today? You may also want to sing a goodbye song, and this is a freebie in the Sing, Play, Create free resource library, and you can go to the website and check that out. But you can change the word goodbye to hello, so you can use it either way. And this is also in one of the Sing, Play, Create Kids Music Channel videos that are linked below. And it's just, hello my friends, hello, hello my friends, hello, hello my friends, hello my friends, hello my friends, hello. I've got posters in the freebie and with the chords and when to play what. So if you have a ukulele class, that would be a great song. They could sing their hello song, hello my friends, and then at the end of class, after they've done with their ukulele lesson, they could sing goodbye my friends, goodbye. I also would change the words to that song and use some foreign words, like they could go aloha my friends, aloha, or adios my friends, adios. It's a really fun song that they can use and sing throughout the school year. With those older grades, it's easy to switch this one up, and even though we're singing the same song, we change just one little word, which means that something new for them to learn. And like I said, with ukulele, it's especially fun to play on the ukulele because it's just the two chords, C and G7. Hello, my name is Sandra and this is Sing, Play, Create Teaching Tips, and today I have got some really fun back-to-school name games. Let's get started. Learning all the student names at the beginning of the year can be a challenge for many people, and it was for me, and so I know how I learn, so these ideas actually come from me and the way that I learn. I like to hear things, I like to see things, I like to do things, and that's how I learn. So what I use is an instrument, and you can use any hand instrument like an egg shaker, which is really easy to walk around with, and it's not too loud, but yet it will also get student attention, and we're going to shake it on the student name. So there's an egg shaker, there's a hand drum, which is easy. There's all different sizes of these you can use, and they're easy to carry around. I've had smaller ones too, so something handy like this, you can set it down quickly and pick it up. And then one of my favorite ones is this one, and that's because it does have the finger holes in it, and it can make lots of different sounds. It can, let's get quiet sound, I need your attention sound. It also, if I want to teach something, fast, slow, I've got this handy. So this is a really fun instrument to use at the beginning of the school year, and maybe it reminds me of the time I dressed up as a gypsy for Halloween when I was in 4th grade. So what I do is I have everyone come in, they just find a spot in the circle, it doesn't matter. I have a hello song, which I talk about in some other videos. There's lots of hello song ideas I give in the videos if you want to look in the links below. And then I sing the names, and I don't worry about the order that's in the circle because I don't know their names, or I might have not remembered all their names from the year before. So I just use the class list, and I tell them, I said, I'm going to go down the list, and if I don't say your name correctly, I want you to raise your hand, and then I will fix it. And that's why this is nice, because you can just set it on the music stand, pick it up again, and do the thing. And I'll just go through the list, like Abraham, you know, John, Mary, Tabitha, whatever their name is. And then I don't even ask the kids to echo me the first time. I just go through the names and I try and see who they are. And they'll see me looking at them, and that's one way I'm making that connection on the first day. So I just say their names on the first day, go through this, and then everybody else has also heard their names, and it just kind of breaks the ice, and then we can go into some more activities. As the year progresses, I take that activity and I expand it. So what I'll do is the next time is I'll do it a little slower, and I'll ask the kids to echo back to me. So if I say Tabitha, I wait for them to go Tabitha, and I'll have them clap it, Tabitha. And that works great too, because now we're getting into music land where we're playing the syllables or the sounds of the words, the rhythm, the way the words go, and we're using our student names, which makes it a connection to them as a person and also helps us all. It's like we're putting yarn across the circle and connecting to each other, playing these name games, and I just love that. It's perfect for the beginning of the year. After I do it as a chant for a while, then I move to a So Me Tabitha, and I'll sing their names. And at that point, I pretty much know who everyone is. I've probably given them an assigned spot either in the circle or in the rows, and then I actually am looking at them, and then all the students have their hands up, and I'll go Tabitha, and they'll go Tabitha, and they'll echo back to me. And it's a really fun way to get everybody into Music Land right away as soon as you start class. So to recap that idea, it's first they come in, they find a spot. If this is the first day, I don't worry about the spots. And then I sing a hello song. I might use a ukulele, or if I have a chant, I'm just going to clap it and chant it, get everybody hello, waving, hi, nice to meet you. Then I'm going to do their names, and I do it quickly, and believe it or not, it only takes maybe 1.5 minutes to do everybody's name in the classroom. After the first couple of class times and they are echo chanting or singing back to me their names, I'll have them sit down after we sing their name. It's a great way to know who's here in class, because if I have my seat chart, instead of doing this and looking and even taking 30 seconds to do that while the kids are not actively engaged, I'm keeping them engaged. I'm singing their names as I go through the seat chart. And whoever is left standing at the end might be a new student. And then if there's no one sitting down, then I know they're out for the day. So it just helps you mentally to have them sit down after they sing their names. Then as I progress, I will take that activity and I can expand it into a lot of different ways to do it. With melody, I can use instruments, I can use boom whackers, I can use the piano. I play on the piano a lot too. So you can take that simple idea and then weave it into your every class time, this is what we do structure. That's going to help you get through the whole year. The kids will know what's going to happen when they come in. They'll know their name's going to be said. They know that you mean something to them because you sang their name, and it's something that will carry you through. It also helps you get into the mood with the kids too, because you know their names. It makes it personal for you too. So that is name game activity number 1. Name game number 2. This one is one you probably know, but we're going to turn it into a game. So the song is The More We Get Together, and depending on the grade you're teaching, we're either going to go pat, clap, clap, or pat, clap, snap. And if you use it in kindergarten, you might just want them to pat, or just on one beat, the first beat. The more we get together, together, together. And I have this song in a video with the hand actions, so you can use the video if you want to, or you can just sing the song and use these techniques and these ideas I'm giving you here. So we're going to have the kids sing the song, so you teach the song quickly to them, and on the first day or even that first couple times doing it, the main point of this activity is to play the name game. So I don't worry about the song. By the time we're done with the name game, they will have learned the song. So we just introduce it and keep things moving forward. The main point is to play the name game. So just use the song to get us started. So we sing the song, the more we get together, together, together. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. More we get together, the happier we'll be. After the song ends, then we're gonna do the names. And the first time, I just want to go slow. I don't want to try and do it to the beat. And I'm going to use my name chart because I don't know everyone's name. Unless you're repeating and you're looking for a new game and you know the kids' names, and keep on the beat and do it. But step 1 would be just to go around a circle, and I have them echo the name. So I'm going to say, there's Mary. And I have the kids go, Mary, and Johnny, Johnny, and Sandra, Sandra, and Brian, Brian. So we go through all of the names and I have everybody echo them, and I take my time. No worries about the beat, because the most important thing is to sing their names. So using The More We Get Together is an easy way to break the ice, because a lot of the kids might know the song. And then you do the slow version of learning their names. Then the next time they come, you can go a little faster, and you can have them maybe start doing the beat, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, for your kinders in first grade and second grade. And then the third grade could do pat, clap, clap. And then if you want to try it in 4th grade, depending on your kiddos, you could do pat, clap, snap. Or have them make up a pattern, which that's what I would do with 4th grade. I'd have them something fun like that in 4th grade, so that the song, even though simple and oh yeah, it's a nursery rhyme, but you're adding in a 4th grade twist to it. So it might be and you're laughing. You can laugh. Have fun. Have them come up with the body percussion pattern for the song. That way they'll want to do it. If they can do something that they can relate to and that comes from them, then you can use the same activity for your 4th and maybe 5th and 6th. It just depends on your kids. But this hopefully will give you some ideas on how to switch something simple like that nursery rhyme and adapt it for those upper elementary kids so they feel like they're not doing a baby song or something that's beneath them. So we're going to do the song and then we're going to do the name, go around the circle. There's and we're going to go around and have them say the name. So the first time I do it, I'll have, of course, I've done it, and then I have everyone do it together. And then maybe the 3rd or 4th class time, you can have the students fill in their names. Okay, the reason I don't have the students push them too hard to do their own names on the very first time is because, well, I personally think like kindergarten, they're just like, they're overwhelmed. A lot of them are overwhelmed and they might be shy. And I found it just really slows the activity up. And the point is really not, the point isn't for the student to have that shining moment. That's not really the point. The point is for me to learn their names, the kids to know I know their names, and all the other kids to know their name, and for us all to feel like we're together in music, you know, making lots of music together. So that's how I look at it. I look at the games are to do those things, create the community, and then later we'll have activities where they're shining and they can, I'm Sandra, you know, and I've done things like that where they get to stand up and do a little pose or something. So hopefully that idea of the more we get together will help you with a icebreaker game activity you can play maybe with K through 4 classes. If you adapt it to those older kids, then they can buy into it and play this game too. Okay, now we're ready for game 3, and this is a hello song and also a way to introduce yourself to other people. It's a way to show your students, teach them manners, how to be polite, and it's also a fun game they can play. There's different levels in the game. There's the beginning level, and then there's the one where we're going to eventually be moving and changing names every time and doing it with each other. So this is name game number 3. Now this is a game I made up. It is also available on the Sing Play Create Kids music channel. So if you want to just learn it from there, like I've got showing, you can see the video, you can use it in your class, or you could just use my video to teach yourself the song and then play the game. I think this game is better suited for maybe 2nd grade and up. I don't know if it would work very well in kindergarten or 1st grade because the students do need to say their names, and that's just something you'll have to decide. But it goes like this.
Hello, hello, what's your name? My name's Sandra, that's my name. Hello, Sandra, how do you do? It's so nice to meet you. Hello, hello, what's your name? My name Dana, that's my name. Hello, Dana, how do you do? It's so nice to meet you.
So I'll have them listen to the song and then I'll echo teach the words, and we'll practice it just using a fake name like Mary in the song, like, hello, hello, what's your name? My name's Mary, that's my name. Hello, Mary, how do you do? It's so nice to meet you. I'll just have them practice that so they have all the words and they get it. Then it's time to play the game. So they're going to need to say their name in the game. We're going to sit in a big circle, and we're just going to do it sitting down the first time, and we're going to sing the song, hello, hello, what's your name? And then the first person, which would be, my name's Mrs. Hendrickson, that's my name. And then they need to respond, hello, Mrs. Hendrickson, how do you do? And then I just have everybody say together, it's so nice to meet you. And it is fun to clap at the end. So it's so nice to meet you. Clap. 2, 3, 4. And then we go to the next person. Hello, hello, what's your name? And then that person will say. And if you're doing it and it's a shy child, you just tell them before you begin, oh, I'm going to help you. So if you don't want to say your name, okay, that's okay today. And I'll just help you. My name's Joaquin, that's my name. And you can just sing it softly and help them the first day. Because as I've shared, to me, the most important thing is for everyone to hear those names, make the connections, and I want them to know they're safe with me and that I respect that about them, and they don't have to perform in front of everybody in music class if they're not comfortable doing that, especially on the first day of class. So then after we know the game, I have them stand up and they can do it again in a big circle. There's a more complicated way to play the game where you can put them in 2 lines and you can have the lines move. So you would start off with people facing each other and they go, hello, hello, what's your name? My name's Jonah, that's my name. Hello, Jonah, how do you do? And then they both sing, it's so nice to meet you. And then one line moves. So the end person would go around to this side to the end, and they would be doing this to each other. Move one spot and here we go. So that's like 4th grade can do that. 4th and 5th and 6th graders can do the moving the 2 lines. So that's a really fun name game you can play. You can even play that one after you do a more simple version, like I do the echo name game, and you could do the names on the beat song. And then this could be this activity you can do on the 3rd and 4th class time, where we're still maybe learning some of the names. Maybe you only have 5 left to learn in the class, and we're just starting to get in the groove of things. So we want to play a game in class, and you could play this name game, get everybody in 2 lines. They're going to be just talking to the person in front of them. If it's uneven, then you join the line. That makes it easy. If there's even number of kids, then you don't need to join the line and you're just managing, and then you just help them move. And this is where I would use that drum. Hello, hello, what's your name? And give them lots of time to sing it, or you can play it on the piano just to keep the tempo nice and easy. And this keep the tempo nice and easy so everybody has time to breathe, sing their names, learn how to introduce themselves to each other, and say, it's so nice to meet you. Name game number 4. This is a really fun one. It's got some animals in it, and this is going to get the students moving. They will need to play this game standing. So if you like a more active game, this is just right for you. It's also in this video where I explain how to play the game, the words, and they can sing along, or you can use my video as a teaching video to teach you how to play the game. Be sure to check the links below in the description because I have all these helping videos outlined there. And there's also a free resource that's going to give you a sample lesson plan with all the links and ideas in it to help you with choosing a fun or using these different name games in your first week, first month of activities in your classroom. After I have the students learn the song just enough to get us started, because since we're repeating the words, I'm not going to worry too much if they do it perfectly right away. We'll learn it as we go. Then we're going to stand in a big circle and the teacher will kick off the game. So everyone's going to do the actions, clap your hands and stomp your feet, waddle like a duck on the steady beat, jump up high and twist down low, say your name. So at that point, the teacher, who's been walking around the outside of the circle, taps the student closest to her on the shoulder. And when we say your name, they say their name, and they can get creative here if they want to, jump up, or if they want to make a pose, or if they want to go jump in the middle and say it. You can choose some fun ways for them to do it, but they're going to say your name, and then they spin around and wave to everybody in the circle and say hello. I found that having my students play these kind of games where they're having to look at everybody and they're having to wave and make a personal connection really helps them, because in our computer-friendly, screen-friendly society, even I myself, we're on our phones, we're on our computers, we're not looking at people as much. And so this is a really good game for them to take them out of that computer tech world and have them relate to people, the people that they're going to spend this entire school year with learning in your classroom. And so we want to help them make those connections. We want them to feel safe. We want them to feel like, wow, this is a really fun class for me to be in because we play these games together and I get to act like a duck and I get to jump and I get to twist and I get to move and I don't have to sit at my desk and hold a pencil in my hand. And so that's what we want them thinking when we play these fun name games in our music classes. So after I teach them a song and then the teacher has chosen the first student, say your name and wave hello, then that person gets to now be the chooser. I call that the person that walks around the circle is the chooser. And we just keep going until everyone's had a turn. If you want, you can have the person that's had a turn sit down, but then they don't get to do waddle and stomp their feet part. So I don't do that. I just have them stay standing. And if someone taps their shoulder, they just go like this. They just put their hands up, no talking. And then the chooser knows, oh, I have to go to the next student. So at the end of the game, when there's 3 or 4, even under 5 people left, everybody's doing this. No, not me. And that chooser has to go around and find the person that hasn't had a turn. And that just adds a really fun element to it. And then everybody stays standing in the game. Everyone's clapping their hands, stomping their feet, waddle like a duck. I don't have anybody sitting out. And then there's poking doesn't start and the talking doesn't start because they're still playing the game. We want to give everybody in the circle a turn to play the game so it's fair for everybody and everyone can be included. I think this game would work really well from 2 to 4 grade. And so because they have to want to or be able to say their names, they can't have them be so shy that you're having to help everybody too much. Game number 5. This is one many music teachers use. I like it, but I have a special twist that I use in my classroom so I can use this game with 4th graders. That's right. This will make it fun for your upper elementary, or at least you can give it a try and see how it goes for you. So I teach them the chant. It's easy. Almost everybody knows it. We just pat the beat. Bee, bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon his knee, stung a pig upon his snout. Goodness me, if you're not out. And I teach them the chant. This chant and name game is available in the Music Teacher Resources Kit. This is a kit of over 55 songs, chants, games, and activities that help you establish the structure that you need in your elementary music classroom with your hello songs, name games, get to know you activities, and classroom procedures and rules, activities, and songs. So it's a really great resource. It's packed with over 55 things that you can use K through 6. It has all different levels in it. It has the sheet music, it has a presentation, it has flashcards that you can print and have handy. And I used it every year once I made it. Slowly over the years, put them all together. This was my standard core first month of activities, and then I organized them according to grade level, and I could use these every year, the same games in different grade levels throughout all of my years of teaching. And so I know they're tried and tested and they work. So we're going to play the Bee Bee Bumblebee game, and this is how I play it. You can play it in a circle, and so with the younger grades, you play it kind of like the last game or kind of like a hot potato game where you're going to have one student go around the outside, bee, bee, bumblebee, stung a man upon the knee, stung a pig upon his snout. goodness me, if you're not, tap them on the back, out. And then they chase each other, and if he tags them, then that person gets a spot in a circle and the other person becomes the tagger. And the way I play is you only have to do 2 tags. So if you lose 2 times in a row, that's it, you still trade. And I found the kids like it because they don't want someone to be the tagger for the whole game. They want their turn to be the tagger most of the time. So I just do that in my classroom so that someone's switching at least every 2 times, and that works. You can switch this game up and play it a little bit like the last game I talked about, where you do it in 2 lines. And what they're going to do is they have the 2 lines that are about 4 feet apart, and instead of a circle, and so you have the 2 lines. And then you make it more complicated because instead of just tagging around, they can go through, they can go this way, they can go back this way, around and through. And so the chasing part becomes a little more complicated, and it's fun. But I do have the rule that they can't jump in the spot from the center. So they can only jump into the space from the outside. But they can run through the middle to get to the other side, and they can run through the middle to get to the other side, or they can run around the whole outside. I hope that makes sense in this video. But I found with the older grades, if I switch the game up, I can use some of these easy chants that I might use in a younger grade and play it with like 3rd and 4th grade. They like to do these kind of chasing games, and it's complicated enough that it challenges them. And I found that that was the most important thing, was giving them a bit of a challenge to play the game. Another thing I do in this game is I have them say the person's name. So if they go, goodness me, if you're not out, Brian, and they have to say the student's name. And if they don't know the name, they can't chase him. They have to say, oh, what's your name? And the student says, Brian. Then they can tag him and go. And that adds another dimension to it. I don't play it that way on the first day of school because, of course, they probably don't know each other's names. But it's a way to switch this game up and make it a little more complicated. You know, that 3rd and 4th week where now everybody kind of knows everyone's name. You probably know most of the names. And we're just wrapping this up. We're switching it up, giving them a challenge, making the game a little more interesting without having to do a new activity. I've taken this simple chant that I can use across 3 grade levels, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to just elevate the challenge of it, what they have to do. Now they have to tap and say the names. I hope this inspires you to come up with some ways to switch things up, elevate them, create challenges for the students in your classroom so they can have a good time with it. In this video, I've given you 5 different name games you can play. They're all available in video teaching format on the Sing Play Create Kids music channel. There is another game, just if you're looking for an easy kinder 1st grade game. It's called Johnny Plays the Drum Beat, and that's over there too. But I've used that in the other K through 2 first day activities. And I also have a video with 10 activities you can use on the first day of class. You want to check that out. It's going to give you lots of material and ideas to choose from for successful first day activities. Don't forget to download the free resource that's going to have an outline of how to use these games and some other ones in your first day's activity. So you literally could download this freebie and you'll have your first day activities planned for you for grades K through 4 for sure. Then you have to decide if this will work for your 5th or 6th grade students, especially if you're able to switch it up and give them a challenge. They will work for you on the first day. Hi, welcome to the Sing Play Create Teaching Tips channel. I'm Sandra, and today I'm sharing first day activities for our upper elementary music students. Let's get started. Depending on where you're teaching, you may be teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th. You may only be teaching 4th and 5th. And I know some of you may be teaching 4th all the way up through your 8th grades. Hopefully some of these ideas are going to help you with those first day activities. I'll be sharing some ways that I've used in the past that I have found successful, and I'm hoping that they will help you too. I think the question with upper elementary is, one, you have to ask yourself, is this your first year teaching, or have you been teaching for a while and the students already know you? Or do you have a big influx of new students every year, or enough new students that those are going to be some of the things you need to weigh out as you decide on your first day activities? I got lucky and I was teaching at the same school for many years, and so by the time they got to fourth grade, I pretty much knew everyone except for the new students, and so I did things differently than you might do if you're a new or a first through third year, fourth year teacher. So here's a couple tips. So one thing is even in fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade, I really like to have a welcoming type activity. I found that in fourth grade that they still really like to sing, and so I had a special hello song, and that hello song had some solfege in it, and it would challenge them to remember to use the hand signs and to sing. And those students really enjoyed singing that song and welcoming each other into the music class.
Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, how are you? Hello, sing a song or two. Hello, sing a song with me.
After I sing the hello song, then I sing the names of each of the students on So and Me before they sit down. So they would come in the room, they find their spots, we sing hello, hello, how are you, and sing the hello song, and then I would sing Johnny, Mary, Tabitha, and they would sit down. That way I could do roll really quickly, but also I sang their names super fast and I had them all memorized. So that's something you want to think about. What kind of song do you want to bring your students into the classroom? I've used guitars, I've used hand drum, and I've also used a ukulele. Hello, hello, how are you? And it's an easy way to get everyone in music land very quickly. I didn't play the piano very much because I felt like it put a barrier between me and the students, and I wanted to be openly accessible to them. Also, I found I might need to walk around the room, or if there was a challenge or something I needed to deal with, I could set this down very easily and take care of anything super fast, quickly, so we could get on with our music lesson. To me, the most important thing in those upper elementary classes is establishing the relationships, the connections as soon as possible. One thing I know, I felt like my kids really like to play games. So I had a game that we could play. And it's super simple. I didn't want anything too complicated on the first day of school because there's a lot of things going on for them. And I just felt if I kept it simple and made the connection, that was what was important to me. So the game is super easy. It goes like this. I just played it with a hand drum. My name is Mrs. Hendrickson. I come from New Jersey, and I like to sing and play music. So we're going to have it fill in the blank, and I just put it on the board, or you can make a presentation out of it. It's my name is, I come from, and I like, with the word music at the end. So before we play the game, I would demonstrate that. Then I would talk to them about what are the things we can put in the blank before the word music. And I actually would write those on the board because every class is going to be different. And so some of the students are going to say the name of their favorite band or a favorite artist, or they're going to just say sing and play music, or they might play an instrument and they'll say, I like to play recorder music. I like to play ukulele music. So I give them a list of at least 10 things so that when we play the game, it goes pretty smoothly. We don't have to play on a hand drum the first day. But I have found with the upper grades that they usually can handle that and they like getting that instrument in their hands. Otherwise, you can just have them pat their knees. That's fine too. We're just trying to keep the beat. The main thing is we're listening to each other about I am who I am, where I'm from, and what kind of music I either like or like to make, or I listen to or dance to, whatever it might be. And that's just a really fun game you can play in the upper elementary classes that will help you get those connections going right away. After I play the name game, then it's time to maybe calm down a little bit, and I'm going to go through the rules in the classroom and some of the procedures. I like to go through that on the very first day. I haven't always done that because I'm thinking, oh, I want them to want to come to music and I want them to have fun, la 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 la. And I'd get a little anxious about that. And then I realized that if I did not do my rules, I did not do my procedures the first and second day of class, that there really wasn't going to be time later to do it. It's kind of like prepping for your barbecue. You gotta chop up the meat and you gotta marinate it and get it all ready for the really fun barbecue that you're gonna have later. And I learned that over time that was an essential part of my first and second day activities. I also learned that having my rules posted was super important. It was really interesting to me to have my specific rules posted in the classroom. So I had my rules posted on a bulletin board where the teacher and the students would see those. They were right by the entry door. And it was kind of magical in a way, something that I didn't think ahead of time, but it worked out because the teachers would actually read my rules, and a lot of them would go back and ask their kids if they had followed my rules in the class, or how were they on number 3, because they might have been having trouble with them on number 3 in their classroom. So I found it was a really good communication, and also, made sure the other teachers knew that, yep, in music we have rules. Unbelievable, but there's rules. And we are expected to follow those rules, and we're going to treat each other with respect and be kind and have a really awesome school year. And here's why, because here are the 6 rules or the 4 rules or whatever your rules are. It's super important to communicate those expectations right at the beginning of the school year. So we're talking about upper elementary, and we've done some kind of hello or welcoming activity, and then we have played a game to get to know the students, and then we've talked about our rules and procedures, and that might be all the time that you have. If you have more time, as some classes are longer, and you have 10, 15, 12 minutes left, I have a really fun free resource. It's called I Make Music, and it is not only a 2-part song, but it's also an ORF arrangement. So you can choose how to use this. In 4th grade, you might do the 2-part song. In 5th and 6th grade, you might want to pull the sheet music out, have it printed out, and have your instruments ready, and the students could go ahead and play the song. It just depends on your curriculum and what you've been teaching, and if it's repeating students, all those good things to consider. But if you want to make music the very first day, I would recommend that would be your next activity. I think they really like getting their hands on those instruments, and coming up with something fun for them to do on the first day can help you have a successful first day activity with those upper elementary students. If you want to keep things simple and you still want them to get out the instruments, you could have them do some drumming activity with the music, a call and response. Just have them echo play some rhythms, put on some of your favorite music, and just do that for a few minutes. And if you had more time, you could have a student come up and be the leader, but it's a very easy activity to do with an instrument on the first day of class. So with the upper elementary students, I'm trying to keep them engaged. I'm trying to have a musical experience with them, and I'm also trying to get to know them. And here's another just quick and easy game you can play. You can use a beanbag, you can use a Beanie Baby, you can use a soft cush ball, anything you've got will work. Even an eraser if that's what you have. And we're going to it's called toss and pass. So it's going to be toss and pass. And the first time I would just have one beanbag started. This is a free resource if you want the song that goes with it. It has the word toss and pass in it. And you can have the students do it along with the music track, or you can do this with just your favorite music. Here's how to play the game. So we're going to have everybody sit in a circle, crisscross applesauce, and they're going to pat their knees on the beat, either to your hand drum or to the music. One person is going to have the beanbag. Toss, and they're going to keep tossing it until it's time to pass. Now you can choose. You could stop the music as soon as it says pass, and then that person could say their name, they could say their favorite animal, they could say their favorite musical instrument. You could choose. This game actually is great for any time of year, but since we're at the beginning of the school year, so you just have everybody say their name. I wouldn't stop on every pass word. I would try to trick them. They're upper elementary. It's a game. So, and I would even like close my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. I don't know when I'm going to stop it. So you don't know who it's landing on. So you toss and then pass and stop the music on one of the passes. They could say their name and introduce themselves. Some children don't want to say much, so they might only want to say their name. So on the first day, I would leave it really open. You can say your name and one sentence about your summer, and one sentence. And some of them will keep going and they won't put the period till after the paragraph, but that's okay because you're going to get to know your students playing this really easy game. Toss and pass. So the main idea that I'm trying to share in this video with you through my experience and just things that worked for me and for you to try is that it's really important to make those connections, especially with upper elementary students on the first day. You have to go with the vibe and feel of your students in your school, and everyone's is going to be different. Even your classes can all be different. You may find the toss and pass game works for 5th grade, but it's not going to work for 6th grade, or it's not going to work for 4th grade. So that's why hopefully I shared a couple different ideas with you that you can use so you can adapt them to meet the needs of your students and your teaching situation so you can have a successful first day of class. Sing, Play, Create has lots of first day activities. One of the most popular ones is the Get to Know You rhythms.
Get to know ya, get to know ya, get to know ya rhythm.
Because it has our chant, it has a game, it has the PowerPoint, it has flashcards. It's a whole unit of activities you can do for the first month or at least 3 weeks of school that'll give you something for those upper elementary students to play. I highly recommend you check it out. The link is below. Hello, I'm Sandra, the creator at Sing, Play, Create Teaching Tips, and today I'm sharing 10 back to school activities. Let's get started. Activity number 1. I like to have a different song for each grade level to sing hello at the beginning of class. I also echo sing their names. This is especially helpful at the beginning of the year, which helps me learn all of their names and they learn each other's names. Every time the kindergartners came in, we did this song, and this was the one I used on the very first day they came into class. And many of the children hadn't done any singing and movement type activities. And so this was something new for them. Some of them were shy and they would just kind of watch, but I could walk around the room and look at them and clap my hands with them and nod my head and pat my knees. And then the ones that had done things like this, they joined me and they were so happy to be singing and moving. So I encourage you to find a song that works well for you. These are available in the Sing, Play, Create store, so check them out, but find one that really resonates with you and that's tailor-made especially just for those kindergarten students. They will really love it, and by the end of the school year, they will be begging to sing this song every class time. But the tip that I'm giving you for this video is to include some body percussion with it. It could be as simple as having a special rhythmic pattern that you play at the end of the song that you already use. The important thing is to give everyone something to do with their hands. I like to have them do a body percussion pattern while they're singing. Of course, kindergartens, it might just be marching while they're singing, but as you get in the upper grades, you can make it more complicated. And you can have them help you with it, or you can teach it to them and use it on the very first day. You can make it part of your activity. The reason this is such an important teaching tool and strategy is because you're asking your students to watch you, listen, and copy your actions. So instead of me saying, I always want you to watch me, I always want you to listen to me, I always want you to copy me, you can teach them how to do those things using this activity. Just come up with one pattern. You can use it for all of the grades to get you started. And then as the year goes, you can take it where it goes. Activity number 2. I like to have kids play name games at the beginning of the school year. So we've learned a hello song and I echo sing their names. And then especially with kindergarten and first grade, I like to play a name game. And the game that I have is called Johnny Plays the Drum Beat. I put a big drum in the middle of the circle and then everybody takes a turn playing the drum. drum. And the game is just very simple. I did find with kindergarten, they're not used to like moving in and out of a circle. So I would have them just come to me, and I had the drum in front of me for that grade. And then with the other students there, they've practiced with me the year before. So they know we stand in a circle and then we're going to be going into the circle and doing things and coming back out. It's just such a simple game to play. Johnny plays the drum beat, drum beat, drum beat. Johnny plays the drum beat all day long. And then we count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the next student comes up and we sing their name. So at the beginning of the school year, if I don't know everyone's names, a lot of students have changed, what I do is I use the class list. And I just go down the list and I'll just call out, okay, Maria. So then Maria gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 beats to get to the drum and they play. And if the students don't want to go to the middle and play the drum, that's okay. We all just pat our knees and sing the name. The important part is to have some kind of name game at the beginning of the school year to help you and your students get to know each other. All right. Back to school activity number 3. Here we're going to just weave in a little bit of music learning. Yes, even on our first day. You might have some kind of fun activity that you found. I use this Kodai sight singing activity that I made, and you can use any music activity and just make sure it's something that's easy that they could do on the very first day. So it might be like the Bluebird song. And just have your nice little chart up there where they're just getting some review, bringing back those memories of what is solfege and what's pitch and melody and what are those lines and the things going up and down. Just bring it back. The goal is just to bring the music learning back into their brains and just make it quick and short. And then if it is a game song, which works really well, you could play the game for the rest of the class, and that works really good. All right, back to school activity number 4. The purpose of this activity is, again, to help the students learn to follow you, be listening, paying attention without necessarily telling them that. You're doing it through a game, through an activity. So what I like to do is use movement cards that are just real simple. Stand up, sit down, clap your hands, stomp your feet, and then we do them at different tempos. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. So they're doing the actions to the music, and it works really well in the younger grades to help them know that in this class, I'm going to be moving my body. I'm probably going to be watching something on the screen. The teacher's going to be talking and helping me. When I do this with the younger grade in particular, I don't use music. I just use a hand drum. That way I can take it really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, stand up. And just wait. Sit down. And I have the pictures on the board going. Stand up. And then we might do clap your hands. Stomp your feet. Shake your hips. Feel the beat. Back to school tip number 5. My back to school tip number 5, it could be a little complicated. You're going to have to give it some thought of what's important to you. If you're a new teacher, I say keep it really simple and just focus on the most important things your first year. Don't try and implement too many new things, then you'll get overwhelmed, and you're doing a lot of repeating during the day and turning kids through. So it's important to help yourself stay calm, and it's better to be sure of what you're doing than to be the crazy lady not knowing what you're doing all day long, and that doesn't work. It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the kids. So you want to think about your procedures, and some questions to ask would be, how do I want my students to come in? Where do I want them to be when they come in? Do I want them to stand? Do I want them to sit? Do I want them to talk? Do I want them to be quiet? So those are some things to answer. And honestly, through the years of teaching, I've done a lot of different things because the students were different at different times, and also times change. I taught over 20 years. So when I first started, I did things a certain way, and then I've adapted and changed things also to the schedule, with break, without a break, all those kind of things. things are going to determine what your procedures are. But I did have very clear procedures, even though I had different ideas. One idea was they would come in, they had to be quiet, stand on their spot. We sang the hello song as soon as possible. Like the second the last kid entered the room, I started the hello song. We did the hello song, we did their names, and when I sing their name, everybody echoes back to me, and that takes 2 or 3, even 4 class times for everybody to get used to that. Then they sit down after I sang their name. That is a really great way to learn names. It helped me. I would have all 1,000 names of the kids I taught at my school learned. And I also traveled, and it just was a magical way to do it. The kids like it because I knew their names, and it just really helped with relationships when you're dealing with that many students. So I had them come in quietly, stand on their dot, sing the song, sit down, hands in their lap, quiet. That teaches them a lot of things, just doing that every time they come in. Then they know when I say we're going to sit and be quiet while someone performs, we've already practiced how to sit and be quiet because we've done that every class time when we came into the classroom. So those are some things to think about, that you're planting these seeds and you're telling them things without really telling them, but you're helping them. You're giving them the tools so they can be their very best selves in your music classroom. Then when we ended class, I had the procedure of we would line up. If we were already in a circle, we just followed the circle, and at the beginning of the year, I would sing a little song to help the kindergartners, like following the leader, 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 following the leader in the line. And we would practice that because in kindergarten, they don't know how to walk in a line. And so we would practice that in our classroom. As the year went on, it was different. We just line up, and in line, hopefully they would be quiet. Like I said, it depended. I had to change that because when the schedule changed, I had no break. I couldn't manage everybody being totally silent and also greeting the new class that was coming in at the same time. So I had to let some things go. So what was more important to me? More important to me was the new class coming in and singing their names. So I hope that gives you an idea about procedures. This is back to school procedures. So you'll have different procedures you'll introduce, like with instruments or bathroom breaks and all those things as you get into class. But the beginning day, the very first day, what are you going to do on that day? What's most important to you? So number 6 is singing a song. So what you're going to do is find a favorite song of yours or something that's relevant. If this is something that works for you, if maybe there was a new Disney movie come out and you could pick a song from that and use that in one of your classes or a couple of your classes. I would give you some advice in that you choose or consider just choosing 1 or 2 songs that you want to do and have them go across your grade levels. You're only going to use this activity for 1 or 2 class times and then it disappears, unless you're going to use that song like in a program later. But it's just to get the kids excited and go, oh, music's so fun. We're singing the song from The Little Mermaid that just came out, or from the Peaches song or something like that. So that's all it is. It's just to get the kids excited, pick a song you're comfortable with, have it go hopefully across a couple different grade levels, one for kinder and 1 and one for 2, 3 and 4, or 3, 4 and 5, something like that, and work with that so it's not too complicated, but something fun for your students to do. All right, back to school tip number 7. This is for the teacher that's been with the kids maybe a couple years and they know what is happening in the music room. So you're not really introducing new procedures or, trying to learn new names. You already got all that down, and the kids are going to come in, and especially like in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they're going to be ready to make music. So this is something you could do, is you could just make music the very first day. I do recommend doing the name game and just, reaffirming and reconnecting with those relationships, do some kind of game with them, and then you could just go straight to instruments and have them play a song. I do have a free resource you can get. It's called I Make Music. Yes, I do. I Make Music. How about you? So it's just a simple ORF arrangement that you could print out, and your students could go to the instruments and play that on the first day. It'd be pretty easy, especially if they're totally into playing instruments, then that's the way to go. That's a great back to school activity. Okay, back to school. Tip number 8. This is one probably for your K through 2 grades, and it's just using a movement activity on the first day. I found that the kids have too many procedures and too many do this way and follow me when I do this, and when I do this, stand up, and when I do this, sit down. You can see the look on their faces. They just go glazed eyes. And it also depends the time of day you have them. So if you have kindergartner at 10 a.m., really different than the kindergartner you get at 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. the end of the day. So this is just an idea to help you with managing what's best for your students, and that is just to use a freeze dance. And Sing Play Create has tons of freeze dances. We have back to school freeze dances. You may have your own resources, but just do some procedures. I think doing a hello song and some kind of name game or something where you at least sing all their names or clap all their names, something to acknowledge who they are. And then if you want to go into a movement activity, break out the freeze dance for them and just do that for 5 to 7 minutes. Then you can get them quieted down, and you could do some of your other procedures like, what do we do to get a drink? What do we do to go to the bathroom? What is my name? You have to teach them your name. There's all kinds of things you have to teach them at the back to school. So a freeze dance works good as a good break in between some of those more tedious things that need to be taught during the first couple weeks of music class. Tip number 9 for back to school success is playing a game. And this works really well with 4th and 5th grade, and I use it for them. They like playing games and they like talking, interaction. And so it's just I Spy. It's I Spy what's in the music room. And it's to play a simple game with them. Again, have your entrance, how you want them to come in, the hello procedure, get to know their names, have some kind of name game. And then another game would just be great with this age group to use. You can play I Spy what's in the music room. Maybe you've changed all the furniture. Maybe there's a new student that doesn't know what's in your classroom. Maybe you're planning on doing a play an instrument activity the very next time, and so you want to have them show you where. So instead of saying, and over here I put the Orff instruments, and remember to be careful, just play the game I Spy something, and you can come up with the descriptions on your own, or it is a free resource in the Sing Play Create resource library, and you can go get that and use it. I Spy, and it's instrument based, what's in the classroom. And then you could add in like, where is your bathroom pass, or where is the light switch, just things you want them to know, and just do it as a game. All right, back to school tip number 10. We are going to need to teach them the things like where the bathroom is and what are the rules in the music room and all your expectations. I actually don't do this on the very first day because I feel like this is with the younger grades. They're just really overwhelmed. I really want on the first day, my primary goal is for them to see me smiling, not crying, but smiling. My ultimate goal for my kiddos, especially those younger ones on the very first day, is to see me smiling, feel welcoming in the classroom, and want to be music and come to music and have a really good time and have fun. So that's why I like to do singing, playing games, singing, make the procedures part of the singing and the playing of games. Teach your rules and things on the second time instead of the first time. That's just my tip. It's something to think about. And it depends on your schedule and your school and all that. I was at the same school for many years, so it worked for me because most of the kids would know the rules when they came in the room. But if you're a new teacher, maybe it's important to you to go through the rules and get it over with. That's great. I'm just giving you some ideas so that you have something to think about, and you'll be able to figure out what will be your best way to go through that first day of back to school and have success. It's really hard to be an elementary music teacher with all the different grades, so many different students. There's so much to learn, so much to do, so much to make happen. And I'm really hoping that this video has given you some ideas on how to structure that first class time. And I would love to hear about your successes or if you need help. And I do wish you the very best success on your back to school. Hello, I'm Sandra. Welcome to the channel. This is Sing Play Create Teaching Tips. And today I've got 5 tips for back to school success that will help you establish your music classroom, get to know your students, and kickstart your year off in a positive attitude, lay the foundation for a great school year. Let's get started. Tip number 1. Don't laugh, do laugh. That's the tip. The tip is to smile. Boy, I've spent all week long decorating my room. I've organized the music props. I've got the instruments labeled. I've been setting all these things up. I've got everything clean. I've got my clothes at home washed, ready to go. I've got my food prep done. I get to school and I'm, hi, boys and girls, welcome. So we got to bring it down, and we have to find a way to laugh and be happy and smile and relax on the first day, even though we've had to do all these multitude of things to get to a smile, to get to that first day. It's like huge for every teacher. I get it. And I got lucky after the first 2 years. I was traveling a lot, but then I settled into one school and stayed there, except at the very end, I did end up having to travel to one school one afternoon a week, but it wasn't too bad. But even just doing that, packing everything up, getting in the car, driving for 30 minutes, going to another location, going to a room that has no decor, doesn't have all the props you might need. So then there's a lot of managing of those kind of things that will add to the stress of teaching. Those are things we want to consider, when you're getting your room and all these things prepped, is how will that affect me for that first day? And one thing I used to do is I would actually, this took me a while, it probably took me 10 years to figure this out. I wish I'd figured this out at the beginning. But what I would do is at the end of the school year, I would decide then which bulletin boards am I changing, what's staying, what's going, and I actually put almost everything away before even the end of school. I only had the things out in the room that we were going to use at the end of the year. And so I had big cupboards that helped me. I also had buckets, some things I had to take home that were mine, but I took care of all of that before the last day. I found it was easier to do a little bit each week that last month of school than to tell myself I had to come in after contract hours and clean my room. That's just something I learned. And so if I was going to redo a bulletin board, there might be that one day that I was going to do that kind of stuff. Yeah, I might have to stay after and work on that a little bit, but I preferred that than having to come in during my summer months. So that's just something I offer you to think about. And then also the other idea is to create things in your room that do not need to be changed. So you might have a background and color scheme in your room, and you might only need to change some of the things that are going to go on that throughout the year. But your basic background and your trim and border is going to stay the same. And you're just changing some of the elements on the bulletin board. And that's something else I did. Now, if you're really into bulletin boards and you love to do that, you go and get that done. It just wasn't my most favorite thing. And so I kept it as simple as possible, and that's what worked for me. So we want to get to that smile on the first day. So some of the things I learned to do, and it took time, and I hadn't worked before until I started teaching school, and I had 4 kids, and so only had 2 of them at home when I started teaching school, but I had, 3, 4 different schedules still between me, my husband, and the 2 kids. So we had our schedules were hard, and I had to drive 30 minutes each way. And so I had to figure all these things out. How am I going to get to work and put a smile on my face? What does that mean? And I do believe it's different for everybody. So I just offer my ideas to you to get you thinking about what might work for you. I know for a lot of teachers, a cup of coffee works. I like to do yoga in the morning and my harder workouts after school. I personally did food prep on the weekend just because I wanted to streamline all the things that might have to be done on a daily basis and put them to a weekly or even a bi-weekly basis, so that when I went to school, I wasn't like worried about, I have to hurry home and I have to get dinner and yada yada, all this stuff. So I kept things simple that way, and I did a lot of prep and a batch things. So when I cooked chicken, I might cook enough for 4 meals, and some of it goes in the freezer, that kind of thing. So those are some ways that you can think about to help you get to tip number 1, which is to smile on the first day. Be happy to be there, welcome the students, make them want to come into music class, and you're that smiley teacher that they always know, I see you, I'm smiling because I really want to be here. And I don't want all those other things in my life to get in my way of going and doing my very favorite job in the whole wide world, and that is to be an elementary music teacher. Tip number 2 is to sing or make music with your students on the very first day. I came from a singing background. Even though I play instruments, singing was always my first instrument, and so that's what I go to. But of course, if you're an instrumentalist coming into the general music classroom, then use your instrument to welcome the students. I know a lot of band or strings people end up teaching elementary music, so why not play the violin? And if you can sing a little bit, hello, hello, come inside, come inside with a great big smile, and I just made that up, but you can make something up that goes with your instrument, and that's gonna really get the kids liking you because it comes from the heart. So I try to sing, and as you know, I've said in every one of my videos is I do like a hello song at the beginning of class. I just feel like it helps create classroom community. It gets everyone into music land very, very quickly, and something you can do without props. And that's why I like to have a singing song for every grade that comes into the music classroom. Something that goes along with singing, and is part of the singing that I do in my classroom, is to sing the procedures and the rules. And so I have songs and little chants that will help teach the students the things I want them to do in the classroom. So for example, I would have the kinders come in and follow the leader around the circle, and the circle was marked with dots. I had rows in the middle of the circle for the older students, but in kindergarten, I had them do the circle because they haven't walked in a line before. They don't know how to. So we walked in a circle, and we just did simple following the leader activity. I shared that in the K through 2 video that you can go watch. But I sang to them, following the leader, and I just have them follow me in a circle, and then we stop. The reason I like to use songs and the music to those songs is because I don't want to be singing all day long every day. I will lose my voice. I did lose my voice for almost 10 years. I was not able to sing any notes like above E, almost above middle C. I had to keep it in like a 2 or 3 note range, and it totally really challenged me to be able to do my job. I had to learn how to do things with my hands and through the music. So when I played the song, following the leader, the lineup song, the kids knew, oh, it's time to line up, and we just walk around the circle, and then here comes their teacher, and they just walk from the circle right out the door. And oh, that's another thing. So I did a lot of hand signs, like big smile, good job, thank you, hello, waving, walk around the circle, stand up, sit down, attention, or I know some people hate that, but you can come up with a clapping pattern. I also did things like if they're really noisy and they're not watching me, I wouldn't say anything. And I would just keep doing things, tapping and patting my body until everyone was following me. I think one of the most funny things that happens with that is if you do not say anything, you will teach your students that you need to be paid attention to in such a kind and nice way. It's such a gentle way to teach. And then what's really funny is there's always someone in the class will go, shh, everybody be quiet. She's tapping her nose. And then there'll be someone else that starts pointing to everyone and say, hey, you're supposed to point your nose, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. The point is to get, if it's a really chatty class, you stop the chatting and you can then refocus, and you get them all doing some body percussion, hugging, like if there's some tension in the room. So using the singing songs, using hand signs, that is something that if you can work that into your classroom procedures and just the way you teach, it's going to really help you with classroom management and save your voice. So if you can imagine having a core set of these kinds of songs, which are going to actually give you the structure that you need in your classroom in order for you to teach music. So I'm not talking about the music lessons. I'm talking about how your classroom is going to go, the way you're going to respond to the students and interact with them. Are you going to be talking to them? Are you going to point to the rules? Are you going to be pulling them aside and whispering? What's the way that you're going to interact with the students? Are you going to have everybody sit down and think? You know, there's lots of different strategies that teachers use, and I found that to keep the class going, I just had these little songs and chants and hand signs that really helped a lot with the classroom management because it kept things going. And I found I didn't have to stop everything or stop what I was doing and go run fix something. So that was something that helped. It does not always solve every problem, but it is nice to have a core set if you can imagine these songs and activities that you can use throughout the year. And I have those. I've written some of them. I've also used some nursery rhymes and other things that will help you do this in your classroom. And that's in the Music Teacher Resource, and it is available on TPT and on the website. And I highly recommend you take a look at it, especially if you're a new teacher or if you're someone who you've hit a block or a blockade on your classroom management and you like to sing and you like to move, and those things you respond well to that, then these kinds of things are some ideas that will help you with your classroom management and making your class go a little more smoothly. In the Music Teacher Resources, there's over 55 songs, games, and chants that are for K through 6 applications, and they will help you create a classroom environment that is based on doing musical activities for your procedures to get to know your students' name games, and there's other chants and activities in there that will help you establish a really positive and uplifting, calm classroom. So we're going to sing. That's tip number 2. The next tip is to use
Props in the music room. Quack, quack. Hi, everybody. Today I'm going to get to learn your name.
And so you can use props to help you teach. I use them all the time in my classroom. They're super effective, especially with the younger children. They really like them. You can just make up funny voices to use with them. And I just got these as a set of animal puppets, and I use them. I got them off of Amazon. Just really super easy to use. And you can teach music concepts like them, like whisper and speak and sing and shout and all our different voices. They can go fast, you know, quack, 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 and slow, quack, quack, quack. So you can use them to help the students hear and see that music concept in a different way. So props are really good for that. So I like puppets. I have some free ones that you can get off the Sing, Play, Create website. These are for the Sing, Speak, Whisper, Shout. Made them in black and white and in color. And you can cut these out and put them on a popsicle stick, and there is a smaller version of them that I use, and I just have these handy when I'm teaching. These work too really well, and you can get these in the free resource library, and I have the link in the description below. And another prop that I like personally are bean bags. I find that you can use these for anything. You can use these if you don't have a lot of Beanie Babies. I know a lot of people go get the Beanie Babies, but if you just want to use bean bags, you can use these too. They're great for the beat. And I have 2 videos that you can look at, steady beat activities using bean bags. I like them because they're like those Beanie Babies. They're soft and tactile, and we can quiet, and we can play the beat on them. And they're just easy to use. These are Bear Paw Creek bean bags, and I really like them, and that's what I use in my classroom. And so this is another prop that I highly recommend you grab for your activities, because you can play so many games with even the upper elementary students using these bean bags. And then, of course, there's all your classroom instruments, scarves, stretch bands, parachutes, all those kind of things that you can use in your classroom. But we're talking about the first day, so you might want to keep it simple. I have used a puppet on the first day. If you're teaching preschool music, which a lot of you are, puppets are great for preschool. They can read the story. You know, even if you have it on a PowerPoint, a story on a PowerPoint, the puppet can read the story and you're going to have everyone's attention. It's like elevated up. I don't know how many more percent more, but let's say if you do it, you have 75% of the kids pay attention. But if you use a puppet, you're going to have 95% of them, especially if you're walking around the room with the puppet. And that way you're watching them, but they're looking at the puppet, and then they're listening to the story. So that's a good classroom management tip. I can tell a funny story about that. I had to travel to a school that was overcrowded. They didn't even have classrooms for everybody. They had kids in the hallways. They put me, of all places, with music in the computer lab where there was just this small, like 4-foot area, 2 rows of 4 feet space where the kids could walk and then sit down at the computer. So I'm in this school with it was really crazy for everybody. They hadn't got it all figured out before school had started. And I'm in the room and I have my big puppet. I had a big Arpeggio the cat puppet with me. And I've got my cat puppet, and I've got 2 other puppets with me, and I've got my PowerPoint. But you know, the kindergartners are sitting in the chairs, and the chairs are way bigger than them, and so they're doing this thing. I don't want to blur my video, so I won't move too much, but you know how they just move all over, and they're wiggling around in these chairs. And so I get out my big puppet and I'm going, well, hello boys and girls. And you know, and I got a big laugh out of this because the principal came in to see how we were doing, and she was in the back of the room, and she patted me on the arm and said, "You're doing good." And I was like, oh, because it was crazy. But the puppets saved me. Really, they did. The puppets saved me. So if you haven't used a puppet before, I have a couple blog posts that could help you. And you can always reach out to me in the comments below, and I can shoot you those links. But consider getting puppets and making sure you have the right props to help you on your first day activities. I have a game I'd like to share with you today. It's called Get to Know You Rhythm Activity. It's available in the Sing Play Create TPT store. And the thing is, to me, this product, this resource has it all. It's got the chant, it's got the presentation, it's got the rhythm worksheets for the kids to do, and it provides a way, it solves the problem of helping you get to know your students and also helping your students do a music activity on the very first day. So I highly recommend you check that out. And I have another one that I have in 2 different levels also. I have the level for the younger students, K2, and then 3 and 4, and it's called Apple Tree. And that one has a song, it has the solfege, it has all the types of materials you would need to kick-start your school year in Music Land, so your students get refreshers on all these things you taught them last year. And then, of course, it has a really fun game. Both of these resources have games. They're really great for the first day activities, and the links for them are below in the description. So we just did some really active games, and now it's time to calm down. And I've used lots of different things over the years, but I do know most of the students are familiar now with yoga. And even if you just turn on some yoga music and choose a pose. If you want them sitting, then do sitting, the sitting pose where they touch their fingers like this and just be calm. And see, this is where I don't say anything. I just would turn on the music, and then I would sit down and I would just smile and breathe, and I would wait for them to copy me. Just wait. It doesn't take long. It's a very powerful teaching strategy because I don't feel like you should have to say everything to the students unless they're hearing impaired or something like that. But I'm just talking in general, where you can use your body language and signals and signs to help your students navigate what's going on in your classroom. It's another way to keep engagement super high. So I turn on the music, we hear it, and we respond to the music. You know, maybe you have a tiptoe activity you like to do, and you just start tiptoeing around the room and you tap someone and you say, follow me. So that tiptoe activity could be a way to get everyone quiet. And what you do is you could start off by having everyone sit down, and then you start tiptoeing, and then you tap someone and you say, follow me. Just mouth it, follow me. And then they tiptoe behind you. And then you go and tap someone else. And soon you have the whole class tiptoeing behind you while this music just loops on for 2 to 3 minutes. So you've taught them a lot of things by doing that activity. We've taught them to watch you, to listen, and not just to you, but to listen to the music, and also to sense what is going on in the room. It's a very powerful teaching tool, and I know that it works. I've tried it, and it works for almost any grade. I'm not sure about 6th grade, because 6th grade I had a mixed experience with, because I didn't get a full class. I only had students who were not in band and strings, so I didn't have that cohesive class that would come in, and sometimes only had maybe 10 students. So things were a little different for me, but it did work when I had the full classes. So any class, you can use these strategies where you stop talking and you show them what you want them to do. Here's another quick sign one. These are spiders, and the spiders are just going to dance. They're going to go around, and I don't say anything. You can just start doing this. And this is just another way to get your students calm. And they're chasing each other. They're chasing me. And then they can quietly put their hands together. And you can do some funny things with them, with these. It doesn't have to be all serious. Just get quiet. So this is a good way to calm your class down after you do those really exciting, fun games that you play. Get them calm, and then it's time to either sing a goodbye song, or you might have enough time in your class to do a different type of music activity, like singing, you know, something that might not be as rambunctious as a chasing game. Another thing I want to talk about breathing and calming down is I also found as a teacher that I needed to have this flow of intensity, calm going on during my day, that I couldn't have it be this intense all 7 classes a day, that I had to have a rise and fall in each of those classes for me and for the kids, so I could take a deep breath. Okay, now I'm going to teach you how to play the bluebird game, and then I would be able to play the game. So I found it really helpful as a person. It also helped keep me balanced, gave me a chance to breathe. I didn't feel so stressed out all day long, pushing. And I think those kind of quieter, calm down activities really help you and the students get through the school day with a smile on your face, which is tip number 1. We also want to end our day with a smile. Another way to get students calm and to help them go from the high intensity movement to a calmer state is to do some of these type of activities where I said, like, follow me activities, where I'm not talking, I'm just showing them. And so tapping and hugging are 2 things you can do to help them get calm. So if they'll do it gently, you can do here, or just do it on the head and do it really soft, and the shoulders. Even if you just do this one where they're hugging, you can just do hugs and have them pat. And I know some of the kids will do this and they won't be calm, but get everybody doing this, and then just, you know, hang in there. Don't say anything until you get everybody quiet. And you don't need music to do this with. It helps if you do, because then the kids know in my room that when there was music on, we're not supposed to talk, because I did these things to help them learn that. But if you don't have music, or you don't want to play the music, just do this. And, you know, even if you get half the kids to do it, and just have them calm down, and have them pat their knees, pat their chest, pat their belly, you know, get everybody calm. And honestly, it will help you probably the most. And you're the one that needs to transition to to whatever's next on your plate. So hopefully these 5 tips will help you create a classroom environment and an ebb and flow to your lessons so that you are able to go to school with a smile, end your day with a smile, breathe through class, keep your students engaged, and have fun and learn music all throughout the school year. Are you ready for some fun back to school activities? Well, today's activity is going to get your students moving, learning, and getting to know each other. Let's get started. If you're new to my channel, I'm Sandra, the creator at Sing Play Create, and I was a music teacher for 20 years, and I love sharing the activities and things that I did in the classroom, and also the creations I've made in my Teachers Pay Teachers store and on our website. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope that you get something exciting and useful out of this video today. After teaching for so many years, I think the question that I've asked myself the most is, what is the most important thing that I could do on the first day of school with my students? Is it teach the rules? Is it get to know their names? Is it make sure they know my name? What is the big question? And I think the answer to that is to make some kind of connection. And so I found to make the connection, something fun has to happen. I want it to be a kid-friendly activity where they're coming in and they're enjoying the activity that I've got planned. I'm not showing a PowerPoint with my rule number 1, rule number 2, but we're doing something engaging. I don't worry too much about names on the very first day because I think everyone's a little overwhelmed, especially if we're dealing with our kinders. They're trying to even learn their name, their last name, remember their teacher's name. So I don't pour that on them the very first day. I just want them to come into music and have a good time. So today's activity is going to do just that. The activity is a scarf activity. For those of you that love scarves and that would work in your classroom, hopefully this will help you. I'm using a school time themed or a school themed scarf activity. It's actually on the Sing Play Create YouTube channel, and you can buy the activity and the other materials in the TPT store and on our website. But you'll get everything you need to know from this video. So we're not just going to turn on the video and say, hey, here everybody, have a scarf, let's go for it. We're going to do some things to help the students make connections, give them a chance to express themselves through movement and music, and we're going to give them a fun experience. For the students who like to move and they've had this kind of experience, this will be easy for them. It may not be as easy for some of the shy students, but I think that once you get started and you show them and talk to them about what you're doing, that even those shy students will want to take their scarf and wiggle it around. Like I said, making connections is probably the most important thing to help your students do on that very first day. When everyone has a scarf and they're waving it around, everyone's making a visual connection. They're seeing that everybody has a scarf and they're looking and they're like, oh wow, this is cool. I can move freely in the music room. Oh wow, this is really awesome. I feel happy because I'm waving a scarf and it makes me feel good. That's what we want on our first day of school in the music classroom. That special feeling that that student just had about feeling part of the group and feeling happy and hearing the music and moving is something that we're going to carry through with us through the whole school year. It's going to set the tone, it's going to set the foundation for making music together throughout the entire school year. And we all know that scarf activities can help students with social and emotional and their physical bodies and make connections, make those brain waves go stronger. It also is the movement of left to right, which helps them with reading. There's so many great things about doing a scarf activity, especially with those younger students. So we've got your class, it's their first time in music, they don't know where to sit, they don't know where to stand, so you'll have to have some procedures for that. Many of you and myself, I use the Velcro dots on the floor, and I would say find a dot. The first day, like I said, I'm not going to organize the class. I'm just going to have them come in and sit down. I'm looking for that feel-good feeling. I want to encourage them, let them know I'm friendly and engaging, and I want them to come back to music. I want them to go home and say, music was my favorite part of the day. So you're going to have them come in and sit down, and then hopefully you have some procedures and ideas of like a hello song you want to do, or you want to introduce yourself in a fun way, something like that. And I talk about these things in a different video, so I'm going to stay focused here. I'm just going to talk about the scarf activity and how to do that on the first day. You won't want to just hand out the scarves and have the students start moving. You'll need to do a couple things to make them feel comfortable. And then I would say about halfway through class, it'll be time for a break. You know, especially if you are going to go through the rules, like there's years where I had to do that. There's years I didn't. It just depended on what was going on that year at the school and who my students were and what grade level it is. So now let's decide, how are we going to pass out the scarves? And I've seen a lot of fun ways to do that. You can put them in those plastic bag pull out things, you know, just pile them in there, and then you can pull out the scarves and pass them out. I had square buckets, the cloth buckets, the storage things that you fold up. They were easy to put away for the summer. Then I could pull that out and stack it on a shelf, and they had the scarves. And I would always remind the students that we get what we get, we don't get upset, and we say thank you. So we pass out the scarves and I say thank you. Thank you. And pretty soon it catches on and everybody's saying thank you for the scarf. And I have a little thing I do with them when they get the scarf. And I would say, catch the magic scarf as I walk around the room. Everybody put your hands up. And then I drop the scarf in, and then I tell them, now crunch it up. Oh, how does that feel? And I would be talking as I walk around the room and pass it out. They could be colors of the rainbow that have come down from the sky to play with us today. Catch your part of the rainbow and hold onto it tight. Okay, and by the time you get done saying that, you'll have walked around the room and everyone will have a scarf. And I talk to them first while they're sitting down crisscross applesauce, and they all have their scarf. And then you can do a little opening the scarf that could be a little seed that grows and it opens up into the sunshine. And it makes a beautiful flower that grows up high to the sun. You just make something up. Or it could be, let's make a rainbow, and everybody open up your scarf and let's wave it together and make a big rainbow in the sky. So I do that before we stand up. So we're making a rainbow in the sky and everyone has their scarf. And then I would give them some direction of, let's keep it in our hands. Let's keep it in our space. And I have them look around and we can draw a circle of space around us with our scarf. And we can go down to our toes and up high in the sky with our scarf. And look, we can trade hands and we can cross our body with our scarf. And let's try, and of course I would be going much slower with the students. I'm just giving you the highlights here. Go through all the actions. I can go around with my scarf. I can hold it with two hands and wave it high and low. I can zigzag. I can wiggle. So you'd go through, as they're sitting, go through all those actions with them sitting down, especially kindergarten. Now, if you're working with your second or third graders and they've done scarves with you, I would have them stand up on that part, because most of them will already kind of know what your expectations are, and this is going to be review. So you're going to go through all the actions with the scarf before you show them anything and talk to them. Then it will be time to get up. You can choose two different ways to do this. If you just want to put the video on because of time, then put the video on and then just scroll through each of the actions and just pause for a minute and say, now you show me what these actions are. You know, and if it's here and there, or if it's high and low, and you just say it as they do it, just to confirm it and to reinforce the idea of the action and what the name is. So then you're going to go through the 12 different actions. Then you're going to say, all right, it's time to play with the music. So now let's take a look at the actions using the PowerPoint. This is one way that you can use this activity. You don't have to go straight to the video. You may not even use the video the first class time. So we're going to get our scarves out. We have some ideas on how to pass them out to the students, how they're going to hold them, what your expectations are, as simply and as effectively, quickly as you can, as it is their first day at school. So everybody has a scarf and they're waving them around probably, and that's okay. Just let it be for the first day. The main thing, remember, is that we're trying to make positive connections emotionally with you, in the classroom, with each other. And so this is just going to be all part of the experience of them going, yay, I have a scarf, woohoo. So now we're going to go to the PowerPoint and we're going to look at each action, and then we're going to have them practice each action. Now, if you like, you can play some quiet music behind this. You could put on something that you like, just have that playing while you're doing this teaching section. Just turn it low and you say, okay, let's practice high and low. Let's practice side to side or swaying. Let's practice wiggling. And just have the music playing and have them practice each of the actions as you go through the presentation. Then they'll know what they look like when they get to the video. Then it's time for them to get ready for the video. Do a quick reminder, stay in your personal space, keep your scarf in a circle around you, and we're gonna have fun. When I do scarf activities, my students weren't allowed to talk. They could make sounds, but they weren't allowed to have conversations with each other. Now, that is another great reason to do a scarf activity on the first day of school, because you want your students to be actively engaged in the activity and not be having conversations. So this is a very subtle way to teach that in this room, when we are doing something, making music or moving to music, something music related, we're not talking to our friends about, oh, I had chicken nuggets for lunch, or my mom forgot to buy mine, or blah, 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 whatever's going on in their little story. So this is a great, subtle, and easy way to say, now when we're moving, our scarves do the talking. Let your scarf do the talking, not your lips. So we'll have our scarves moving to the music in the video, and then you can use it for as long as you want. You can skip through the sections if you want to. You can just decide when you get to the free choice, you're going to want to pause and explain to them what is free choice. And that means they get to choose one of the actions that they've done and they get to do it, or they can make up an action. It's the first day of class. Just tell them, as long as they stay in their space and keep their scarf to themselves, they can do the disco, they can do whatever action they want to do while there is the free choice part of the video playing. We have the video playing, students have their scarves. This is a great time now for you to walk around the room. This is where you're going to make a little connection with everybody. You're going to go around the room, and if they're wiggling their scarf, you're going to look at them, look in their eyes, make a connection. You know, unless it's a child, that's not the right thing to do. But in general, we're going to make visual contact with the students, and we're going to smile and we're going to wiggle like them and say, I'm like you and you're like me and we're playing together. And I'm going to walk around the room. I'm going to try and hit everybody during that video time. This is going to teach your students that you are one-on-one connecting with them. It's also going to show them how you're going to manage your classroom. So you're going to be walking around the classroom managing it. You're not sitting up behind the desk or on the stool waving your scarf and showing them what to do. You're empowering them to look at the video and do what is going on in the video, and then you are going to be checking on them by walking around the room. This will also give you an opportunity as a teacher to see a little bit more of each student versus just kind of looking at the whole class and trying to teach a music lesson. You're going to be able to walk around, get a good visual, get a good vibe, and share that vibe by copying them or smiling or saying positive things like, oh, you were doing such a great job wiggling, or I love the way you're wiggling, or whatever your positive comments are during that first day. These are the things, these are the memories, these are your seeds that you're planting that are going to take you through the rest of your school year. We've been waving our scarves around. We've had a great time. There's been some giggling. There's been lots of movement, some gross motor exercises going on and lots of smiles and happy faces. And now it's time to turn off the video and calm down. How do we go from to time to move on to something else? So here's just one simple idea. You can do it with a scarf, and you can have the students help you with it. And so what you'll do is have them crisscross applesauce, hands in my lap. 1, 2, 3, 4, I can clap. And have them sit down, and they'll have their scarf. And then we're going to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And we're just going to use it as a calm down activity. This will work K through 2. Everybody loves Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So you can just do a simple scarf movement. Just say, just follow me. We're going to get nice and calm. And I want you to sing along with me. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. And you can use any actions you want. You can just have them do this. It's very calming to wave the scarf. If they're having trouble with 2 hands, if you're doing this in preschool, then go to 1 hand. Just have them do this. Just rocking back and forth. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And now we're going to go higher. Up above the world so high. And then just pick a spot. Like a diamond in the sky. And then just back to bouncing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And then have everybody do this and say, we're shaking all the wiggles and the sound out. And then you can choose how you're going to pick them up. I had, like I said, my bucket, my box, and I just walked around and I would have them hand it to me and just drop it in the box. Or maybe you have them pick it up and they line up and then you just gather it when they're in line. Or you could have them pick it up. I've done this too, where I put the bucket down and as they walk by the bucket, they just drop their scarf in. Sometimes though, they want to reach in and play a little bit with that one. So I prefer to collect them. Later in the year, once you've decided what your procedure is, then later in the year, you can ask a student to do what you would do. So you can have leaders take turns holding the bucket, or leaders collect the scarves all in their row. If you have like your rows with your dots, lots of different ways you can empower your students to help you transition in and out of these activities without saying the directions exactly. So we're talking about smooth transitions. So we did our scarf movement. We sang a nursery rhyme, little star, how I wonder what you are. That means we're singing too. And then we transition by getting the scarves put away. And everybody takes their turn, putting it in the bucket as the teacher walks around, which is my preferred method until I get the students where they know what we're doing. And then I let them do that. And then they walk around and gather all the scarves up, and we put the rainbow back on the shelf, and we can even wave bye-bye rainbow, bye to the rainbow. With your younger students, you can do some of that. And so then we say goodbye to our scarves, and we can shake our fingers out and wiggle them, and we just used our body and made a lot of brain connections, so it's time to do something different. And this would be a great time now for you to either teach them a little song, a simple little song you want to sing, or read a book to them that you might want to use on the first day of school. And so these activities are going to establish the way your classroom's going to be, that we're going to get to come in and we're going to engage with each other and be either moving or making music together. And then we're going to have fun together, and we're going to have this high point where we're really excited. And then it'll be time to calm down. And then it'll be time to do something else. We'll either make music, or we'll be singing a song, or we'll be listening to a story or some kind of activity. And then it'll be time to go. And it just makes such a nice music class for that first or second class time. Who knew that scarf activities could be such a great foundational activity for the first week of school? They are, because they're setting a tone for the way your classroom's going to go. And if you like scarves and it resonates with you, your students are going to know this. They're going to go, oh, my teacher is having fun. I'm having fun. This is fun. They don't think that, but that's the feeling that they're going to get. So if you like using scarf activities, why not give them a try that first class, that first day of school, and see what you can do with it. If it doesn't work the first day, definitely, I think you can pull this out the second class time. It just may be too much for kinders to come in and do scarves that first time. You, the teacher, are going to have to make that decision. Hopefully in this video, I've given you some concrete ideas and examples of ways that you can use any of the Sing, Play, Create scarf activities. There's all kinds of themes. Look at all these themes that we have. They're so much fun. You can use them all year long. You can have one activity a month where you're going to do a scarf activity, and there's tons for you to choose from here. Then your students are going to know them really well. The great thing about that is that then if you put it in your subplans, you have this product in your subplans, or you have a Google Slides with the link in it with scarf activity, and you've done all these procedures. You've gone through everything. You've told them how to stay in their space. You've shown them how to pass them out. You've shown them how you want them to move, what the different actions are. And then you have repeated it several times, and then you're out sick and you can pull out a scarf activity, and they can do that for 10 minutes during the class time. The substitute will be able to have that activity to use. It'll be easy for them. They can always ask some of the students to help them if something comes up and they just don't get what you're doing in the written page. But your students, if they've done this, it'll be easy for them and they'll have a fun time. And then they can tell you about it when you get back. Scarf activities are such a wonderful way to invite all the students to move to music together, in a way making music together through the movement. Just make sure you've given some thought to how you're going to pass them out, how you're going to store them, and there's all different ways you can do that. And I've got some tips in some of the other scarf activity videos. I hope you'll go watch those. I have some scarf songs too that are really fun for the kids. There's the Little Green Aliens and a beginning scarf song called The Scarf Song, because it just introduces them on how to hold the scarf and twirl it and whirl it and move it high and low. There's lots of fun ways to use scarves in your classrooms. Be sure to check out all the scarf videos. I've linked them below in the description. There's some lessons that I've included. They're also in the free resource library in the singplaycreate.com that you can get if you're a subscriber. I hope you have fun playing with scarves in your music classroom this year. I hope this video helped you. If so, please give it a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe to this channel to get notifications. Hit the bell so you'll get the weekly videos of where I'm sharing activities, teaching tips, and things with you you can use right away in the elementary music classroom. Hello, I'm Sandra, the creator at Sing, Play, Create, and today I'm sharing teaching tips for the new elementary music teacher. Let's get started. If you're a new elementary music teacher, then you may be feeling a bit overwhelmed at the beginning of the school year. Today's video is going to give you over 25 different activities you can use. They're all for free, and they're just going to help you create the basic structure to help you structure your classroom and get you started with lesson planning. I'm going to include the 3 things that I think are the most important things to consider when you begin teaching in elementary music. I think the 3 things are planning, creating a classroom culture, and your music activities. That's right, I didn't say a word about decor. Yes, it's important. Yes, you want to do some. But in this video, I'm going to focus on these 3 things because I think they're most important. And I think they take the most mental and emotional and sometimes physical energy to get going. So I'm going to give you the things I think are important about planning, about classroom culture, and about some back to school and easy music activities you can use right away in the elementary music classroom. All of these activities are going to be in one special freebie bundle for new music teachers. You can get this bundle of activities. Just click on the links below in the description. I also know how to structure activities, so I create units of learning instead of class by class things. So we're carrying over skills, and we're also developing a sequence within each grade. Now, those are things I learned over teaching for 20 years. So hopefully, as a new music teacher, this is going to at least give you some ideas and plant some seeds on things you want to do with your music curriculum so that you can develop and have a nice scope and sequence. But planning is an important part of your job, and that's because if you plan things, you can sequence them and you can streamline your music activities. I talk about that in another video called Create a Music Lesson Unit that you can look at, and it gives all the details, and that freebie is included with this music teacher bundle. So in the music teaching freebie, I've included a free PDF and Google Slides editable planner that you can print out if you want to and put it in your notebook and write on. I used it. It works really well. It has the basics. And then, like I said, there's the Google Slides if you want to do it in Google Slides and type those in so you have them. And then what you can do is, like for kindergarten, you'd use the kindergarten pages and create your first quarter kindergarten with the lesson plans right there, and then you would insert your slides and have them ready in Google Slides. One advantage to doing that is that you'll have the same core activities, for example, a hello song or a fun body percussion activity that you might do all throughout the school year, or a steady beat activity with that grade. And you'll have that YouTube video or that music activity presentation in this Google Slides presentation, and then you'll have that ready for you all year long. Or let's say you're just using it for the first quarter. Then you can have the first quarter PowerPoint presentation for kindergarten, and then we can have a second one for quarter two, and so on. And then each year you can change out some of those activities, but this will give you a foundation of music activities that create the structure for your scope and sequence. So those are the things you want to keep in there year after year, and then you might change out, for example, since I make a lot of scarf and freeze dances, you might say, well, I don't want to do the back to school scarf this time. I might want to do the dinosaur scarf activity instead. So you might change your scarf activities, but you'll always have a movement activity at this point in your lesson. Hoping that makes sense to you. In the free music teacher bundle, there's going to be a video planner with some activities already in it for you. There's going to be a creative movement planner. There's going to be a planner for steady beat activities. So these are going to help you create those foundational activities to use with your students throughout the years. So I'm hoping that that helps you as a new teacher to get you started. So with the planning, what you want to think about is, first you want to think about the whole year. And, you know, every year for me, honestly, was different, but there's always one thing we did in kindergarten, and that was play the steady beat. And we could do 1,000 different activities learning the steady beat. The idea is to take those simple learning goals that are for the whole year and then build your classes around those. All your activities will lead your students to learn those learning goals. Classroom culture. It's not that hard to do. It just takes a little thinking and soul searching, but pretty much you want to come from your heart. You do want to think of how you want your classroom to be, and I want my kids to be singing and moving and enjoying and playing music. If you like barred instruments, you could have your kids play the rules on barred instruments or drums, or just shake a shaker on the rhythm. They would love that. That's so much more interactive and memory making than just saying those rules out loud. So some things to consider in classroom culture is how you're going to interact with the students. Are you going to interact with talking to them? Are you more of a hand signs. Creating that classroom culture goes hand in hand with planning because they're going to work together. So how you want your classroom to go, those things are going to be in your plan. So I like to have a structure that I could rely on and a way the lesson was going to go. Most of the time we would come in and we had a hello song and then we would sing their names. They sat down and then I would do some kind of singing or intro to the activity. And then there was always a movement activity. And then there was always kind of a closing, calming down activity in between other things that we were doing. So if we were making music on instruments that day, that would be in there. We may not do a movement activity when we had all the instruments out. So I would have to set them out on the floor. So we're not going to be able to do freeze dance that day. So I might have everybody playing instruments. And so in my lesson planning, I'm going to solve that materials organization issue by going, oh, well, if second grade is playing Doggy Doggy, Where's Your Bone? And third grade comes in next. And it would be really smart to have third graders singing and playing instruments too. And maybe in the morning, that's when I have my kindergarten classes and I don't have the instruments out yet because I set them up during lunch. So we could do movement then. So those are just things to think about when you're planning your lessons. And that's why planning and creating that classroom culture, they kind of go hand in hand. In the freebie, there's some very specific activities for hello song, goodbye song, name games, and then there's a couple of music making activities that are really good for the beginning of the year. One of them is I make music, yes I do, and that could be used actually with all of the grade levels. You can use the I make music activity in kindergarten as a call and response. I make music, and then they copy it back to you. And you could just do it as a simple little chant. When we do those echo call, you're establishing the way you're going to interact with the students, which is building your classroom culture. Because you're saying, hey, I'm up here and let's make some music together. And if you follow me and you copycat me, we can do a little song together. So let's do it. And so then you do the call, I make music. And you can even start with just the actions if you don't want to do clapping on the first day. I make music. And then they could say it back to you. And it's interactive because they're responding to you. And then later in the year, you can have them be the callers. And there's lots of fun games and activities you can do with that. So that's just some ideas on establishing classroom community and those first few weeks and how important planning is in order to establish your classroom community. During the first quarter, I would use reward tickets for each class. So I taught the classroom management and the whole classroom community idea through saying, okay, we got to all work together and we're going to get this reward ticket. And a lot of the teachers would collect the tickets and they even would put them on their doors or put them in a special place so the students could see, oh, wow, we got 22 reward stickers this year in music class or whatever it was, whatever they earned. And the teachers sometimes would do rewards for the rewards. And that was awesome. The other thing that was good about it is it communicated to the teachers that I had a system and I was paying attention if their class was working together, and that communicated to them. And so then they could back me up and help me with my classroom culture too. So that's just something to think about. I used to keep charts and maybe the class could just get a sticker on it. I did that too for a while. So every quarter I might do something just a little bit different. And as the year went on, I tended to personalize the rewards a little more. I had a lot of little tiny stickers and I would use those. Or some students do like to color. They could go over and color their little reward ticket or their little wristband. So it kind of depends on your personality and what you want to have set up. You don't want to have to manage that every day. It's something where I could print out all those reward tickets for the entire year, or at least for the whole quarter, cut them up and have them ready to pass out. I didn't do any color. I just did them in black and white, made it super easy for me to communicate to the students, hey, I think you're doing a great job. And I appreciate how hard you boys and girls have worked. Thank you for making music with me today. And thank you for making music with each other. And so those were some things I did with the classroom community. I also like to use hand signs. So we would do a silent thank you, to each other and singing and sitting down so that I wasn't constantly having to use my voice. And even let's make a circle. There's lots of different things you could come up with, and just try to implement those as you go into the first month of school, and then repeat them all the time. So if you're a new teacher, you might just want to choose one thing that's important to you, and that might be sitting down. What's a hand sign you could do that would say, everybody stop and sit down? And you would do it without talking. And yes, not everyone's going to see you, but the ones that do are going to. That's going to help save your voice, and it creates a classroom culture of students watching you and echoing you, and they're following you, and they're all working together to have a really fun class time. So here's some tips on planning those first weeks of activities, and these activities are all in this free resource. So it makes it really simple to put them, like I said, in a PowerPoint for each grade level. And then you have them ready for you. And then what I did is I made a presentation that was only for the first 4 to 6 weeks of school, just until I got through teaching all the classroom procedures, the rules, and the back to school songs, and kind of bringing everybody back up to speed in the music room. And then that way I had that presentation for all the years after that. So that's just a big tip I'll give you, is save you hours of time. Even if you change out some of the activities, you have your basic structure, which is planning. So you'll have the hello song. You have a back to school name game. You have some kind of movement. You might have a storybook. You can even just make the slide, take a picture of the cover, stick it in there, put the title. If there's a read along on YouTube, then put the video link in, and you're set for the next year. You kind of can plan as you go. Once you have that overall reaching idea of what are the objectives or the goals for each grade level for the entire school year. So now let's get to the music activities. Like I said, I like to create a structure of kind of how the lesson is going to go. And at the beginning of the year, I just keep it really simple. I want them to learn the hello song. I want everybody to learn names, and I want to get to know them. And we do that through playing games and making music together. It sounds simple, but it's harder to implement. But if we just keep that basic structure, then I can use it across all the grade levels. So in the free resource, there are some activities to help you do that. I mentioned the I Make Music. That's a great one because in 4th through 6th grade, they can sing. It's 2-part song, and you can get out those Orff instruments and they can be playing and singing on your second class time. If you prepared them for that and if they know how to do it. Otherwise, you can just start with the 2-part singing, and then you could work on that to get them used to playing instruments and bring them up to speed where you want them to be. If they haven't done playing instruments before and you have a lot of new students, you can start with them just singing the song and then go to 2-part, and then you could teach them how to play one of the parts, play the melody, play the bass, play the ostinato. Then you could break it up over 3 to 4 class times. You could have those upper elementary students playing music very easily using this free resource. If you're trying to create a culture where the students are making music every time they come in the classroom, it's really fun with those upper grades, like I said, 3rd and up and 4th and up, to get them making music right away. That's going to help you with your classroom culture. It's going to help you achieve your lesson goals that are in your plans. By now, you can see how this is starting to weave together, and things are going to really work out well for you if you think about, like I've said, the lesson planning with the core 3 or 4 goals for each grade. This is if you're just getting started. And then you want to establish a structure, a plan to each of your days, and also an overall plan of which activities are going to teach these learning goals. And then lastly, we're going to choose music activities that support the learning goals. That's big language. I mean, it's pretty much like if I want to lose 20 pounds, then these are the things I'm going to have to do so I lose the 20 pounds. They may not be the most fun things to do or things that I like, I may have to give up things that I like to lose the 20 pounds, but these are the 10 things that I'm going to need to do over the next 3 months or so to lose the 20 pounds. That's all we're talking about with lesson planning. The challenge for you and for me was we're doing it with 7 grade levels, and you're on your feet all day. You don't get a lot of planning time. And if you're like me at all, you have so many ideas, you want to do them all. That was probably my biggest challenge, is bringing it down to what's really achievable and what's really important and what really matters for the kids. That's why I standardized the curriculum. Each grade had an emphasis on what they were going to learn. In K and 1, we did a lot of movement activities, and they learned beat and rhythm. In 2nd grade, I did a lot more instruments and got them dive deep into those barred instruments. 3rd grade, we did some barred instruments and we added in the ukuleles. 4th grade, they did a big music program, patriotic music program every year, and then we did recorders. So we did a lot of singing, like choir singing, and we did the recorders, and at the end I did bring out the Orff instruments. And then in 5th and 6th grade and 5th grade, I did some keyboards and some review and a lot of the Orff instruments. And then in 6th grade, we did a guitar curriculum, and I had a guitar for every student, and it was very successful. The students really liked the guitars, and it was really fun. And we always did a concert in the classroom, not for parents, but just in the classroom concert. And I would teach the kindergarten and 1st graders the songs that the 6th graders were going to play. And so they would come together. And we had these little informances for every 6th grade class that I had, and the kids would sing and make music together. And it was so rewarding. It was just really a fun thing to do. So I had that basic structure for all those different grade levels, and then I just built my lesson plans around those learning goals. And that's how I created a scope and sequence for that school. And then I pretty much stuck to that plan for quite a few years. I changed the activities all the time. I changed my behavior charts and the way I interacted because students changed and I had to change. And also I learned more. I'd go to an Orff workshop or the Kodai training, and I'd come home with lots of great, better or new ideas on how to teach those music concepts. So I would be switching things out and changing them within that structure of my overall curriculum. Hopefully I've given you lots of ideas on how to get started as a new teacher on planning, building classroom community, and some of those important music activities that will begin your school year. I want to share with you some of the freebies that are in this resource so you can see what you'll get and so that you'll go get it. The link is in the description, and they are, very simple activities, but they will help you with the 3 things that I've talked about: the planning, community, and music activities. There is a Google Slide Planner and Lesson Planner template, printable and in Google Slides. There's also Meet the Teacher Google Slides, and there's a Create a Music Lesson unit. There's a creative movement planner and a video lesson planner. There are hello songs, name games, and a goodbye song. And there's an upper elementary beanbag toss activity. There's exit reward tickets, and there's a classroom management song, Crisscross Applesauce, to help students sit down. There's an Orff arrangement of I Make Music song you can use with all your grades. There is an I Spy musical instruments activity that's really fun to use when you want to introduce classroom instruments. And there is a beginning body percussion activity that's really great for the beginning of the year. It's a good activity to go in and teach steady beat and beginning rhythms. There's also a move to the beat activity for the upper elementary just to get them started and back into music land. I've also included some standard things like beat strips and rhythm charts. There's steady beat activities. There's beat charts for the entire year, and there's music worksheets that you can put in your sub-tab. There's over 25 activities in this, and I've included the videos in the presentation. Johnny plays the drum beat, hello song and name games, the more we get together, fun body percussion, a back-to-school scarf activity, a back-to-school freeze dance, back-to-school body percussion, Doggy Doggy Where's Your Bone music lesson that you can use in 2nd and 3rd grade. It's a great game to play after you get through those first 3 or 4 classes. You can teach the concepts later, but if you play the game at the beginning, then they'll have that down when you're ready to teach the Kodai, the solfege, and the rhythm and the melody parts. Finally, your video planner can be your sub-tub or available to use on those times when you've lost your voice or you have to come to work and you're not feeling that great and can't talk. This way you'll have all your activities ready in a presentation as soon as you need them, and that just happens in teacher life. I'm really hoping this helps the new elementary music teacher. The things that I would say to you finally are, remember to smile. Remember to keep it simple. Remember to have fun, play games, sing songs, and enjoy that first class with your students. That's going to set you up for a great school year. Hi, I'm Sandra, the creator at Sing Play Create, and this is Teaching Tips. And today I'm talking about elementary music curriculum must-haves. Let's get started. It's my experience that many music teachers have to create their own curriculums. And if you don't, maybe you have a standard curriculum that you've been given by your district or your school has given it to you, but you also have to come up with a lot of the lessons and activities yourself. So as an elementary music teacher, you have to create your lessons. You've got 5 to 6, some of you 7 or 8 grade levels. You may even be traveling to more than one school. One year I had 6 schools I was traveling to. I had to keep a chart in my car of what day I was going to which school because it was on a 6-day rotation. It was pretty crazy. And I think from what I've seen on social media and the friends and subscribers and followers is that your life is just as crazy as mine was. And sometimes it's hard to get that planning time in and how to create a scope and sequence that's really going to give your students a really great foundation in music skills. So when they leave the elementary school, they know how to make music in many different ways, singing and playing instruments, and they know about composers, and they know about all these things that we elementary teachers want them to know. So how do we get the resources and find the ways to create the scope and sequence so that our students get the best music education possible? That's one reason I created the year-long music lesson bundle, which is based on all of the national standards for music teachers. In the year-long music lesson bundle, it has thematic activities for every month of the school year for K through 6. That means in each mini bundle for each month, you're going to get lessons, songs, games, chants, activities for grades K through 6, all in one bundle. This is so great to have as a teacher, as a resource, because once you purchase this bundle, you'll be able to use it the whole year. And in this music lesson bundle, it has the core elements that are based on the national standards, music lessons for grades K through 6. And in each mini music bundle for each month, for the 10 months of the school year, there is lessons and activities for each of the grade levels. And there's a scope and sequence that tells you, which lessons to teach. And there's also a chart in there that will tell you all of the concepts that are taught and how you can correlate and use them across grade levels. And some of the activities can be like grades 2 and 3. And so there's lots of helpful things. There's planning pages. There's over 70 activities in this bundle. And so today I'm sharing a little bit about that music resource. It's called the Year-Long Music Lesson Bundle. So keep watching to get a preview of what's included in this bundle and how it will help you solve the problem of having a standard set of music activities for all your grades with the scope and sequence that makes it easy for you to teach because you'll have all your materials there. Another great thing about this music lesson bundle is that it really works well with Kodai, ORF, and the MLT curriculums. You're not going to find any conflict in there, and there's lots of activities that complement and will work with those curriculums in these music lessons. You want to consider how you're going to teach all these students throughout the years. And I know for one thing, there's subscription services out there, and those are great and they may be effective for you. But the nice thing about owning your own resources or even having the school purchase them for you is that it's a one-time thing and you have it forever. I mean, even couches wear down and you have to buy a new sofa once in a while. But these materials are never going to wear away because they're based on the core music concepts that we're always going to be teaching to our students. You'll also be able to streamline your lessons because many of the activities can be used K through 2 or 2 and 3, and that's all outlined for you in the scope and sequence. Do you have to do concerts with your students? I did. I had to do 6 to 9 concerts a year. And so I used many of the ORF arrangements as part of the concerts. And we could use a book and then play the song, or we could make up a story or a script that went with a core group of songs and activities where the students could showcase their music skills. Many of these resources have video and audio files too. So just think, you're going to be able to create your substitute lesson plans easily using this curriculum bundle. There's not going to be any scrambling on TPT and buying something at the last minute, because you already have all these resources, including worksheet bundle for each month of the school year that you can print out and have readily available for your substitute teacher in your subtub. The year-long music lesson bundle is just right for the new or the experienced teacher, because what you can do is use it to kickstart your music curriculum, or you can use it to embellish an existing one. You don't need to go to a lot of trainings. You don't need to pay a yearly subscription. You'll have over 70 resources available for you to use in your grades K through 6 that support all of the national standards. You'll also have planning pages and a scope and sequence that will help you get all the activities you need for a year. All of the lessons have presentations, there's worksheets, there's audio, video, and Google Slides files. These things will help you and make your teaching job easier and enable you to leave when the contract day ends. And that means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to you too. Here are the concepts that are covered in the music lesson bundle. Imagine having music lessons for the entire school year for the general music classroom. With the year-long music lesson bundle of bundles, you'll be able to embellish your existing curriculum or kickstart one with the concept-based music lessons, songs, games, activities centered on themes throughout the school year. Also included in the year-long music lesson bundle is the kindergarten music lesson bundle with the loud and soft, fast and slow, high-low, steady beat, duration, and movement activities based on the Engine Number 9 train chant and song, with other songs, a multitude of activities including worksheets, flashcards, movement. Everything's planned and organized for you. The lesson plans have a scope and sequence and detailed outline. This comes with the year-long music lesson bundle. I hope you'll check out the year-long music lesson bundle. Thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Let's keep kids moving and learning with music.